everybody. It's me, Mickey Mouse. You know, I have a club that I bring all these kids to, and I turn them into stars later.
Wait a minute. If I pull this Mickey Mouse head off, it's Michael Jackson.
Whoa. Welcome back to another episode of Enter the Nerdom, the spooky edition.
I'm so glad we redid that. Sorry, Chad, keep going.
No, I'm here with hosts
Stan Warncini.
Watson the Wraith Bradshaw.
Ooh.
and Chad the Zombie Lombi Gombi.
Wait, I didn't come up with a nickname. Stan Warncini. Shit!
Or you could have been Wolfman.
Wolfman.
Stan Wolfman.
It's true, Wolfman.
Warncini.
There you go. That's
There
what I
you go.
am.
Like
That's
it.
what I am.
All right.
I'm like, are we, sorry. We're very happy with ourselves.
Yes.
We're coming up with names, and we're done.
Nicknames.
And see you later, everybody.
And we'll see you next week. Welcome back, guys. We've seen stuff. We've read stuff. We've heard stuff. We've
Yes.
We picked up on vibes.
we've put our antennas out and we've absorbed the surroundings of nerd-like things, and I think we're ready to dive in.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
We're very close to Halloween.
Yeah.
As of it is the 24th as we record this, and so we're just
Wait, Halloween's not the 24th?
I said we're very close to Halloween.
Oh, my
And it's
bad.
the 24th as we record this. So we're
Wait a second.
wait a minute.
Hold up.
We're
Why am I in a costume eating cotton candy?
no.
Yum, 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 yum.
That's just every day.
Yum,
No,
yum.
yeah, that's an
Yeah,
everyday thing.
We're
It's my Halloween candy from last
I'm
year.
Wilford Brimley.
I would say
Halloween.
Wilford Brimley just joined us.
Oh, no, that's a Halloween
Oh
costume.
man, that would be great.
Throwing a big mustache.
We're about a week out from Halloween, and I'm having a big Halloween party this Friday. Woo! The Morancini Monster Mash. It's my 8th one.
Oh, man.
I do it every Friday before Halloween, and so it's fun. You guys have both come to it.
Oh yeah,
Friday.
I'll be there.
Come on
Friday,
down.
Friday.
To
If
be
you want,
scared.
if you want autographs, just ask.
That's right. That's right.
You say that to everyone everywhere you go, though.
I know.
I'm constantly getting turned down.
People are just pepper spraying you.
Someday they're gonna say, you know what? Today's the day.
Sir, they said the line at the bank. We don't need your autograph. Just your ID. Thank you.
You guys have both come to the party, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How did you guys enjoy it?
It's lots of fun. The of the stuff I remember. Whoa! Wait, shit.
Oh,
No, it was lots of fun. Like, you have a nice big backyard.
thank you.
There was amazing decorations.
Thank you.
The food was great. The taco
Yeah,
stand there.
Stan goes all
Yeah,
out.
he does.
He gets
Appreciate
the best
it. Worth
tacos in the land. We
And
got
it's all for a good cause, too.
Photo booth and yeah.
Yeah, so I just recently started raising money for the Hollywood Food Coalition. Check it out, hofoco.org. We feed people 7 nights a week, warm, nutritious meals, anybody who comes through our doors. And you can also volunteer with us. We rent the location from the Salvation Army on Hollywood Boulevard. If you're in the LA area, you'd like to join with us, check out hofoco.org. Hollywood Food Coalition.
Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
I'm on the board of the organization, and we constantly raise money. So a couple years ago, I turned it into a fundraising operation. About 3 or 4 years ago, I turned it into a fundraising party for the organization when I joined the board. And so, I just asked for donations at the party. We have a photo booth set up, and they actually print out little pictures for you. Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm asking people, you want to give like $5-10, or you want to just donate directly to the website itself, to the organization itself. We would appreciate that. But I have a taco person, I have a DJ, photo booth, plenty to drink.
Fire pit. With
Fire pit.
s'mores and the
We
like.
got s'mores back there. We've got a beer pong table set up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the last year nobody used it. I don't think anybody knew what it was. The year before that, people used it.
Yeah, I think there wasn't anyone playing, so no one knew that it was set up for that.
You need to have like someone just pay to play, just to sit there. So when everyone walks in, they're like,
The first play I'll do is when I'm about to throw, I'll go Kobe and just dive on the table and just smash right through. Just to start it off.
And you'll be like, you guys got a drink. You got
a drink. I made it in.
I love it.
So yeah, this Friday, hopefully you guys.
We'll be here. We'll be down.
Yeah,
for sure.
And every year I have anxiety every year from this thing because I don't know how many people are going to show up. I tell people to RSVP I send out the invites through Facebook and the Instagram, but every year people are like, it would be like 16 RSVPs on Facebook, but usually people bring somebody.
Yeah.
So it's like 26, 30, something like that for those 16 people. But then like 70 people show up.
Right. It's Los
or like
Angeles.
40
No one
people
ever
show up.
shows
I'm like,
up.
oh my
Like,
God. You know,
no one tells you they're coming.
One year I had like 20 people. It was like total. The second year of this thing, it was a total bust back in 2016, and I was so pissed because it's a lot of money that goes into it, and it's a lot of time and effort, you know. And I'm the only one back here setting everything up.
Yeah.
You guys have seen how I've elaborate.
No,
I have like animatronics set up in the driveway where people walk in from. There's this vlog machine. Got the
Well,
DJ.
right now you have this awesome graveyard
the
scene in the
front
front.
yard.
I got a little
which is so
graveyard
rad.
in the front. You know, I put up some of those purplish lights.
Yeah,
and,
it looks
you know,
good.
We'll post a picture on
Yeah,
our
definitely.
Yeah,
Instagram
we'll take
for
some
that.
spooky pictures.
Spooky.
God damn it!
That was the spooky slide whistle. The haunted slide whistle, everybody.
There we go. That was
That was good.
That was a good one.
That was creepy.
That
That was creepy.
creepy.
And so we recently asked each other to rank our 6 scariest movies.
Yes.
Right? So if you guys want to jump into that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
why
go
not?
ahead. Go ahead, Watson. Start us off. Since it was your idea. Let's go from top to bottom. I mean, from bottom to top.
Are we doing one each around, or are we going to do 6, 6, and 6?
Let's just do 6, 6, and 6 because it's just. No, take that back. Not 6 and 6. I don't like that number. I crossed myself.
Now wait, are we putting these in order, or they're just our top?
Well, I mean,
6?
yeah. Let's just do. It's our top 6, but like, let's start from. I thought we were doing from bottom to top.
Bottom to top?
Yeah.
Oh, we could do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all stuff we should have talked
Yeah, I mean, that's
before
what I.
we got
Yeah.
on here.
Well, right,
Yeah,
yeah.
no,
I mean, that's what I did. I put them in from an order.
Okay.
So yeah.
I could do it as
It doesn't matter. But yeah, go ahead.
All good.
Go ahead,
So
Watson.
my list, the way I saw it in my head is like, okay, it's Halloween night. You have a little get together party, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these are movies that would be kind of really fun to have in the background, where it's like, or that are just kind of my list kind of batshit crazy and all over the place.
No, it's
But
fine.
That's fair.
I think this is a pretty fun list. First movie would be Black Sheep. I don't know if you've ever seen this one.
I've heard. I know what you
It's
mean.
a bizarre, like,
Yeah.
it's a New Zealand movie based on, there's more sheep in there's like 4 to 1, you know, the ratio of people to sheep. There's more sheep than people.
Mm-hmm.
And so what if the sheep turn rabid and start turning people into were-sheep?
Okay.
It's insane, but it's really fun.
That's great.
So I got that one. I've got then the original Clive Barker's Hellraiser.
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
I mean, talk about insane again, and just like crazy visuals. I mean, like Pinhead, the whole deal. It's really messed up.
Yeah.
Followed by Fright Night, the original Fright Night, 1980s Fright
Yeah,
Night.
it's a great movie.
So good.
It's a great
And yet
movie,
again,
yeah.
just insane stuff happens in that film. It's a lot of fun. It's gory and good. One that I think is kind of a modern classic at this point is Malignant. I don't know if you guys saw Malignant.
Not
Yes.
yet. I still have
Yeah.
Dude,
on my list
it's
still.
batshit.
It's
Yeah.
It's
insane.
so good.
It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the same kind of thing. It's like, I don't, not to spoil anything, but I mean, it's about like insane killer that comes out of the back of a head of someone else.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like a evil twin on the back of this woman's head.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's bizarre, and it's got like some action sequences that like rival John Wick.
Yeah.
Really?
There's a fight scene, not a fight scene, but a scene in a police precinct that is insane.
It's basically it's more of a thriller than it is.
Yeah,
a
but it's
thriller
got-
horror action than more of
Yeah.
a horror film. Yeah.
But
Okay.
That's
I
pretty
dig
good.
that. And then I've got Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Great movie.
Great one.
Classic.
Great
Classic.
movie.
Kind of become a popular cult classic now.
Uh-huh.
It's funny because when I was watching it years ago, I don't think anyone was talking about it. Now I'm seeing a lot of like toys and stuff like that for it. I'm glad it's kind of like a second coming. Kind of thing. And then finally, The Evil Dead 2.
Oh, very
one
nice.
of my favorites. I remember in college, I had the video cassette, and we would have like viewing parties at my place. So we'd come over, we'd drink some beers, we'd put it on, and there was a lot of people that had no idea what it was. And they would come over and we'd watch it on like a little 13-inch television and all freak out and have fun. And then like, the next few days I won't be walking around the halls going like Dead by Dawn and Necronomicon, like stuff like that. And it's just a fun flick. So that's my list.
It's a great movie, yeah.
And that was your number one at Evil Dead?
Evil Dead 2, yeah.
Nice,
for sure.
nice.
You
no, go ahead, John.
Okay. All right. So, I kind of, these are all classics, really, I guess, or they fall into there. But my first one here would be Misery.
Oh wow!
Ooh, great movie.
And that always really stuck with me. I mean, especially the one scene, the hobbling scene. I was like, oof.
It's rough. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's well written. I've still been meaning to read is it a short story it was based on, right?
Yeah.
But I still been meaning to read it. But the movie's so good that, a lot of the movies I'm about to list are ones that if they're on TV,
right.
I was like, I'll just watch this one scene. And then I end up watching the rest of them.
Yeah.
So, but Misery there. And then Poltergeist.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
Creepy movie.
Still creeps me out to this day.
The clown?
Oh, the clown, yeah. And it's like...
Everyone hates that goddamn clown.
You learn the rules. You don't look under the bed.
Yeah,
seriously. Also, what kid has a clown like that?
I mean, I think that was
more
more...
to begin with.
I think that's a parent purchase. Like, they're
it seemed like they put it in his room.
Yeah. I'd be like, no, Mom.
Yeah.
Take that out of here.
Yeah.
Set it on fire.
And then next is Child's Play.
Oh, man.
And awesome. That's the one that I love the most because you don't see him right away, like moving around, and like you see all those glimpses of his feet patter, and like I just love that part of him, and it kind of removes itself from the dynamic of his character as the series goes on because it's like you just see him everywhere all the time, and he's less scarier. But I really like that, and then Scream, the original Scream,
right? Great film. Great film.
Just the meta-ness of it. Because at the time, I was never really into horror movies. Like, I've seen a few here and there. And then when that came out, I was just like, you know what? I really thought... I just loved how intelligent it was. Like, that it knew what it was doing and, like, doing all the little beats of a typical horror movie and stuff like that. So, and just very creative all around with the lore and the references that they would use in the movie, and then my last is The Thing, the John Carpenter's The Thing.
Man, see, I didn't put that because I thought it was more sci-fi than horror.
Well, see, that's the thing because
that would be on the top of my list.
Because we didn't really specify what type of horror. Because that's why I also did have Alien on the list, but I was like that. I could say it's more of a thriller.
Yeah, it's more of a thriller. Yeah.
And then Jaws was another one, but I was like, that's more of a thriller. As well. Even though that still, I would never probably go that far into the ocean, swimming wise.
Definitely.
Like on a boat, fine, but yeah, no. So
I'm the same, Chad.
Yeah. But yeah, that's...
You guys hate the water.
Well, no, I mean, it's nice. It's just you don't belong there.
Yeah, exactly. We're not designed for that.
And then things that are bigger than me are in the ocean that could or want to swallow me. So
yes, they do.
It's an irrational fear, but it is a rational fear.
No, I agree. Like
that scuba diver who almost got swallowed by a whale almost.
Yeah, he literally got swallowed by a whale.
It's terrifying.
I think he did it on purpose, though, didn't he? Didn't he go into the mouth? There's a video of like a scuba. He goes into the mouth and he like on purpose. But it's a whale, but it's a shark. It's one of those really big.
The megamouth.
Megamouth, but so he kind of swims in there for a while and then swims out.
Those guys, they eat the krill and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah,
I would rather shoot a harpoon gun into my face then do that. So
it's not a carnivore. It's not going to hurt you.
But it's completely dark.
No,
it's a filter feeder too. So it doesn't have teeth.
I wouldn't do it either.
No, yeah. Yeah.
Who knows?
Either I'm knifing my way out of that whale.
If we get 10,000 likes, Chad will get inside a whale.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So that's good. That's great shows. Great choice. Great choice.
Yeah. All right, buddy, let's hear it.
So I did mine in order from least favorite to favorite, and these are the movies that kind of like a lot of them have to do with when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. They really kind of like some of these have like when they really put like the fear of God into me. Right, first one was Night of the Demons. You guys seen that?
Oh,
yeah, 88. I saw that. I was probably I think I must have been like 11 or 12, something like that when I first watched it, and it was late at night and I was like terrified.
Yeah.
Of like the movie, I was like fascinated. Well, all these movies, especially the older ones that I saw as a kid, I was like terrified and fascinated by them at the same time. Like I couldn't look away, even though I wanted to. And Night of Demons was definitely one of those because it did the Sam Raimi kind of like the camera trick, where kind of exactly. Like and now it's like the things like following the kids around. And, so good. It's such a good choice. And it's so at the time when they released it in '88, it wasn't a big hit. It was kind of a sleeper, But then it became more of a when they finally released it onto cable and then regular TV a couple years ago, it became huge. Yeah, and now it's got a cult following, and it's just, I mean, you watch it now and it's kind of like the Evil Dead series, the original ones. It's kind of campy and goofy, but it's at the time you're like it was kind of shocking, especially for like an 11-year-old. I shouldn't have been watching it, it was a great movie. And then with my horror, I lean more towards like the supernatural element. That's to me is like what a horror movie is. So the next one was The Conjuring. Oh yeah, which is the first time I saw it, I was like, "Wow, this is pretty terrifying." And then as I found out, it's somewhat based on a true story. I think. They probably embellished embellished it a little bit, but whatever. It's fine. And you can go to that house now and spend the night. You can like pay the owners and you can like spend the night there or just walk around, do ghost investigations. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good not doing that. Yeah. I'm good not doing that.
I know some people that would. Like I guess some friends
me too.
Or like love going on like ghost hunts.
Yeah, me too. They're called lunatics. Yeah. And you can also go in the basement that's supposed to be super active. There's a YouTube channel called Sam and Kobe, which is pretty big. And they spent like a couple days there so far. They spent a week. They just recently released a video and they spent like a week there. I'm like, you guys are insane, dude.
They spent a lot of money.
Yeah, it's just, and they like went into the basement with like a girl who was like sensitive, a medium or whatever, and it was terrifying. Just watching the video is terrifying. I'm like, no, I'm okay, thanks. You guys can keep that. My next one was Insidious.
Oh, that's a great one.
And obviously I watched that as an adult in theaters, and that was the last like Insidious movie I watched because I heard they kind of got a little more ridiculous after a while.
Second one's still good.
Is it? Okay. I'll probably check it out eventually. But the opening is like creepy as shit because there's that kid asleep in there, and then the way the camera moves, it's very slow, and it's like this darkened room, and it kind of pans over to like the window, and there's like the silhouette of an old lady standing there, and there's like candles everywhere, and then she kind of moves away, and then I was just like, Jesus, like just the opening is creepy as shit. Like even though it doesn't utilize a jump scare necessarily, just the way they shot it was so well done.
Right, it just puts that feeling into it.
Exactly, yeah. So I really like that. So that was well done. The whole movie is just kind of creepy in and of itself. Like the further how they describe that kid's like in the dream realm or whatever. No thanks.
Anything to do with kids always freaks me out.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. And then like he's like walking around because he's being controlled. But
well, like that movie terrified me a bit because like at the time, every now and then I would get sleep paralysis, and that's when you see the shadows on the wall. So after seeing that, I was like, oh shit, am I astral projected from my body?
Maybe.
But yeah, no. So I agree. That's a great.
You got Darth Maul following you, dude.
Yeah. Hey. I mean, like, I don't think I'm good company, but sure, we could hang out. We could sharpen his finger things or whatever that was.
Oh, God, that was,
like,
that's terrifying. Yeah. And the way he's, like, crawling on the wall. And, oof. No, thanks.
And I'd be like, what? I'm built different, dude. You ain't taking me.
My next one is The Grudge. From I think 2004, the 2004 Grudge, which is a remake of the Japanese
Sarah
movie.
Michelle Gellar, right?
Sarah Michelle Gellar was in it, yeah. I saw this actually in Iraq in 2004. We had a movie theater on the base that we were at. My friend and I, pal, went there, and we we used to go to movies as much as we could because it was like a thing to do.
Right.
So it was like one of the few distractions we had as Chad is trying to not
distract
you by opening a Coke can but failing miserably.
Coke Zero. It's the Coke to drink and not to sniff.
That's right. Sponsor us.
Yeah, exactly.
You see what you're getting for your money.
I
Right?
know.
With a tagline like that, how can you not?
Not to sniff. And we saw it in theaters, and that whole opening scene of like the little boy, the ghost boy's like, that was terrifying. Even though like now you watch it like it's just a kid in white face paint.
Yeah, when you
which is like
strip it back and what it really is.
You'd have punched him, right? You popped out at you?
Probably, maybe,
Jab.
or just run,
Jab. I mean,
but that movie was, just the overall creepiness of it. The way they set it up was just so well done. It was creepy. Yeah. And so then that night, because the base we were on was called LSA Anaconda, it was this huge, massive former military base that the Iraqis had that we took over. But so there wasn't a whole lot of lights like on the base. So you kind of had to walk around sometimes using a flashlight. And so we had to pass a lot of like dark areas to get back to our tents after the movie. And we're just like, you carry your weapons around everywhere you go there. So we just like kind of like gripping our rifles a little tighter, And then I was kind of trying to like fuck with my boy Pal. And he's like, don't I tell you right now, don't fuck with me. He was that terrified. It was good. And then my personal favorite, I talked about this already, but The Night of the Living Dead is my second favorite horror movie because I watched the 1990 version. I didn't watch the 68, 69 version until much later as an adult, but I watched the original 1990 version, and that was like my first like start of fascination of zombies and this small group of survivors against this huge horde of like the undead, and they're like holed up in their farmhouse. It's so good. I just recently watched it last week. It's such a good movie. It still holds up so well. Yeah.
Oh, was that your...
No, I got one more, but go ahead.
Oh, no, do the one more because I have a question that kind of bounces off of.
So I would say this is definitely like one of the creepier ones. I mean, I ranked it as number one, but it's not, it's I think they're all kind of like in the same category, but I put Dead Silence. Have you guys ever seen that movie?
Never. I've always seen the clips of it, never the whole movie.
Dead Silence. I don't remember that.
So it came out it's the same guy that did I think the Insidious movies. James Wan, I think. Yeah. And it's about this person who had like she's like a puppeteer with like and then I think they killed her or something. She came back. So if you screamed in her presence, you would be turned into like a puppet looking thing, like a human puppet looking thing. Yeah. But there's a scene in there which like I haven't seen that. Yeah, this was like 2008, 9, something like that. And I watched it as an adult, obviously. And there's this super creepy part where this kid like goes and sees the body of this woman, and it's like a flashback, and the kid like is like peering over her coffin because it's like in this mortuary. Yeah. And like he tips the coffin over and she falls over, and like of course there's flashes of thunder, of course there is. And then one like as the lightning is flashing, she disappears and then she reappears and she's standing in front of him. So terrifying. It's giving me chills right now. But yeah, so it's I put it at the top because it's one of those kind of forgotten horror movies that people don't think about it.
2007.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow. And it cost $20 million. It only made 22. So because I was like, a lot of these horror movies get like a ton of sequels. So I'm surprised that this one kind of came and went.
That's probably. I think if it had been released a couple years earlier, around the Conjuring, Insidious time frame, it would have been much more. Popular because there was a bunch of small horror movies that came out like around early 2000s.
Oh yeah, there was the Paranormal Activity kind of
like there was like Darkness Falls, which was about the Tooth Fairy.
I dig that,
which is a great movie, but it came out like 2000, I think 3 or 4 or something like that. So it wasn't it wasn't the start of like this horror revival era that we're in right now. That was around like Saw era that kind of jump started that like 2008, 2009. That's when it started. So yeah, it just was right before the mark. But if it had come out a couple years later, like 2012, it would have been very successful. We had 15 Dead Silences by now. Just we have 30 Conjurings and 40 Insidiouses and God knows how many Saws by now. So, but yeah, that's my little list there.
Well, I wanted to ask you too if you had to pick one type of genre for horror that you love the most, or that you could, if you only could watch that type for from now till the end of time, what genre would you like? What kind of horror would you pick?
Ooh.
Like, would it be purely supernatural, slasher, monster, or?
That's interesting.
That's tough. Yeah, because I really like the slashers, but I also like the supernatural.
Yeah. Because, mind you, a slasher could be a supernatural slasher.
That's true, like Jason.
Kind of, they could kind of cross lines and stuff like that. So,
I'm always a fan of sci-fi horror.
Sci-fi?
You know, like anything like The Fly, you know, any body horror stuff, like Cronenberg stuff is always great. You know, like we said, The Thing is probably my top 5.
Or Event Horizon.
Event Horizon is fantastic.
So that's so good.
And underrated small movie, but like I think I would go with sci-fi horror, like Alien. I mean, you know, yet again, like
because like I would for sci-fi there would be obviously creature horror, but like it would be hard to say like Jaws would fall under the probably the broad name of creature horror, but it's not sci-fi obviously. So.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, there's not many movies. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's a ton
of movies of animal.
So I should say
animal name.
That's
movies.
That's another
a whole genre
of creature or nature versus man type of you know.
And we'll list them all right now. Alligator, bats.
Oh, I love alligator so much.
The birds.
The birds.
The original one.
Frogs. Have you seen Frogs?
Frogs. No.
Or no? Is it called
Would you
Frogs?
consider what was the name of the movie with? Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer.
Ghost in the Darkness?
Yes. Would you consider that
real
thriller?
quick?
Yeah.
Would you say that?
I think it's more of a thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's based on true stories.
Yeah. Like, and you didn't see much of the line until
they tried to do the Jaws thing where you don't really see it.
Yeah. It's still a good movie. It's a good movie.
No, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But yeah, like...
Have you ever seen Brotherhood of the Wolf?
No,
I saw that years ago when it first came out. I don't remember. It's really interesting what they try to do with it.
Yeah, because it's kind of horror. It's kind of it's like a French kung fu movie.
Yeah,
really?
It's like French fu.
It's a really interesting film.
Okay.
But it's like Mark DeCostas is in it as a Native American, and
maybe
and like Monica Bellucci's in there.
Yeah,
and it deals with this village that is plagued with wolf. Like they think there's a creature killing the villagers.
Yeah,
and so these two hunters come to try and take them out. It's really good.
It's also based kind of like true story because it was like at the time in France in like the 1700s there was like a wolf that was like killing people.
Yeah, but it gets insane. The movie gets really crazy.
It's really nuts.
And what's the name of it again?
Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Brotherhood of the Wolf. Okay.
Check it out.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
That speaking of wolves, which we never got to do because I've never seen the movie, but you guys are always excited to talk about it as Dog Soldiers.
Yeah.
Dog Soldiers
I still need to see it.
Such a good movie. Oh man.
Would that fall but would that fall under horror or would that be more of an
That's
action?
definitely horror. That's
Really?
definitely horror. Yeah.
Would it be action horror or would it be just
No, it's horror.
It's
I'd say it's horror.
Body horror stuff.
Yeah, body horror.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's some funny parts to it though, but
Yeah.
it's still I'd consider it horror.
horror? Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, dude, the wolves look the werewolves look so good.
Now let me ask,
So
do they
good.
look better than American Werewolf in London?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, well, American Werewolf in London,
very
we didn't.
different.
Yeah, we didn't. American Werewolf in London is more like an animal.
He turns
slash
into like a giant
hybrid. Yeah,
These are like
these are like.
These are more like Underworld.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
okay,
That's
okay.
a good. That's a
Makes sense, like the
perfect.
lichen.
lichen. Yeah,
Lichen. Yeah,
okay,
they're
I
like
gotcha.
they stand on 2 feet, but they look like humans, but they have a wolf head.
Okay.
It's
And
it's so
monstrously
well
tall,
done.
yeah.
Monstrously
Oh, man.
tall. They're like 7 feet tall. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
good, dude.
Okay.
When they come in the house and you see them for the first time. Oh,
So good.
fuck.
Are the werewolves in that movie the only supernatural thing in it? Or
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's such a good movie, dude. I'm telling you, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
Fuck,
man.
I mean,
Depending on what time we finished.
I'm surprised we didn't bring up Monster Squad.
Oh, well.
So Monster Squad is
Not really
good
horror,
point. Yeah, it's
but
not really horror. It's more like it's a kids movie. You know, like that we had in the 80s. Like
Yeah,
you know, like Goonies.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a good
it's more of a kids movie with horror elements thrown into it.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not exactly. You know, I wouldn't necessarily consider like Stranger Things, which a lot of that is based off of horror either. That's
Yeah.
more of like a thriller kind of like sci-fi
Lost
kind
Boys.
of. Yeah, exactly.
Lost Boys is a good.
Lost Boys is a good pull too. Yeah, it's those 80s movies that were like it's a bunch of kids like stuck in the situation. That they get so it's I don't really consider that hard. Still, I love it. One of my dreams is to be the showrunner for a Monster Squad TV series. Universal, I will make it your Stranger Things. Give it to me. I guarantee you. If you're listening, Universal CEO,
throw it on Peacock.
There's also another movie that was really forgotten. It's part of a series called Ginger Snaps.
I love Ginger Snaps.
So did you ever see Ginger Snaps 2?
Yeah. I've seen them.
What a great movie, dude.
Yeah.
And it's because it's weird. So they took the same characters but put them in the 1700s.
Yes.
Like in Canada. It was but it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. I remember the way how I watched that movie is again, I was in Iraq and the Iraqis have like their little bazaars where they have a bunch of bootleg stuff. I talked about this in the podcast. Yeah. And I saw it and I was like, werewolf, something. I was all right, cool, I'll check it out. Watched that movie thinking it was going to be some... I spent $2 for a big deal for some bootleg DVD. I was like, holy shit, what is this movie? And as I'm really watching it in my tent, I'm like, this is creepy. Yeah. It's so good. And like the production value on it was so well done. Like they have... do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I've heard of the movie and like I've listened to another podcast of one of my friends.
How dare you?
She... you got to support the friend group and stuff. And they were talking about Ginger Snap.
Hey, I podcast around, okay?
Hey, I dabble.
I never said I'm exclusive.
But I haven't seen it myself. I do want to see it because what they've described from the plot of that, I was like, oh, that sounds
it's really good.
I've never seen the first one, but the second one I highly recommend.
Mm-hmm. But I will say...
The third one's pretty good, too.
Is it?
I've heard the name before I even heard that that podcast, and I thought it was more of a horror gingerbread man type of movie, which there is one.
Gary Busey is the voice of the gingerbread man.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought Ginger Snaps was. It was like, like cookies killing people or something like that, which I would watch. I wouldn't.
Yeah, the title doesn't really make any sense.
It has something to do with one of the girls, doesn't it? Ginger, her name is Ginger, something like that.
She snaps like
because it's supposed to be.
I don't remember if the girl's name is. I mean, I know one's
I
a
think
redhead.
one of them is. I think one of them is named Ginger, and like the first movie is supposed to be like a metaphor on like teenage.
Yeah, it's puberty.
Puberty, exactly. With turning into werewolves.
Yeah, coming away. So a good one as well as The Pact. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
It's it was like it's very Scream but werewolves. Okay. I think Christina Ricci's in there.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah,
that sounds familiar.
It's a bizarre. Yeah, and Jesse Eisenberg is in.
Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but Ginger Snaps 2 is if you're gonna only watch one of them, I recommend that one because that's the only one I've seen. But the first one apparently takes place in modern day, and it's about two sisters in high school, and then the second one again they transformed them to the 18th century. Yeah, it's
Canada prequel about the family.
About the family, it's so well done, dude. It's creepy as shit. Because remember they got that like fucked up little kid in there. Yeah, and then they're so.
I haven't watched those films.
It's so good. The plot is that there's the French trading company has an outpost in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the woods, and these two girls like are separated from the family who's been killed by werewolves, and they stumble upon this fort, and there's like a couple soldiers and some like tradesmen at this fort, but they're like under siege by the werewolves, and they have like they have a werewolf head stuck on poles outside. It's so fucking cool, man. And so by little, like there's somebody within the fort who's a werewolf, of course. And
start picking people
off, and like the kills are just nasty,
really
brutal,
good.
Dude.
It's all practical
effects. Oh, wow. Yeah, the werewolves are cool as shit.
Yep.
They kind of look like American Werewolf in London.
It's more so good. Full werewolf.
And just like the tension that slowly builds up, they take their time with the movie. It's not like some kind of just ridiculous thing. It's just they really take their time, and the scares are really, really well done, dude. Yeah. And the characters are interesting. It's awesome. Yeah.
It's another really good like hidden gem kind of movie.
It is.
I dug that.
Did you guys ever check out the Howling series as a kid?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love the
Howling.
I heard
about it. Never seen it though.
Really good.
Howling 3 was always on cable for some reason.
Is that the one where they assault some castle or something like that? Yeah. Yes, and the guy has a rifle. Yeah, I love that movie, dude. That's where I watched the original Howling.
That's so funny.
That was always on. It was always on Channel 5.
Isn't there a movie called Howling Commandos? Am I mistaken?
That is from Captain America.
Yeah, that's Nick Fury's team. Yeah. Back in World War II with the Howling.
You know what?
Commandos.
Maybe I could be thinking of Dog Soldiers, and I just only saw a clip of it.
Maybe.
Or something. I just sounded.
Chad, you're gonna love Dog Soldiers. We're just gonna watch it right now with a podcast.
We'll do a live
viewing.
Oh, it's so good, dude.
Commentary track.
What an amazing movie that
You
is.
see here the wolf, his snout is much longer
I
than
love
the
that
rest
decapitation.
Yeah.
Of them.
So yeah, that's those are some of our favorite Halloween movies.
Yeah, it's a
for
good
the
little
spooky
list, I
season.
think, for anyone that wants to do a little movie marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen them, hopefully you're not afraid. You know?
Ooh. Check out Ginger Snaps 2. Check out Ginger Snaps 2 and Dog Soldiers.
Yeah.
And The Howling 3. Why not? It's
three movies that weren't on our lists, but
it's still really good.
Still great.
Still really
If
good.
you like dogs and if you like violence, watch all the werewolf movies you can find.
Yes.
Especially the movie Wolf, starring Wolf Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
And
James Spader.
James
Spader's in that. Oh my
That's
God.
That's a bizarre.
I love that movie.
Yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer.
I haven't seen that in so long. That's right, Michelle Pfeiffer's in.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh my God, I haven't seen that movie in so long. I gotta
stuff.
watch it.
Well, you know, it's not really. It's more comedy. Really.
Yeah.
I love The Witches of Eastwick. That's one.
That's
of
a
my
great
favorites.
That's a great
too.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that when she starts vomiting up all the
Yeah, the
Cherries.
cherries.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
such a creepy
Yeah.
part.
I know
man.
people that can't eat cherries because of
Really?
that. Oh yeah.
Oh, makes sense.
I
Oh,
literally
man.
can't even look at a bowl of cherries.
And that's like, then they have a transformation and they turn into rats or something like that, or mice.
No,
isn't
that's. I think
What
you're
is
thinking
it?
of
Witches.
the witches.
Witches.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That one
Roald
scared me
Dahl.
as a kid when they pulled off their faces.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
and they're all-
Angelica
yeah.
Houston's the
Yeah.
main witch. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I always get those two confused because I watched both of them as a kid.
yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes
They
they've been
came out
on
about
at
the same time.
Yeah.
I remember the cherries. She's kind of like slowly like
Yeah.
vomiting up.
Susan
Like, what's going on?
Sarandon's like,
Yeah.
or
And
is
it
it
just keeps coming.
Yeah, it's Susan Sarandon that's
Yeah.
spitting them out.
But at the same time, the witch is eating them, right?
Yeah.
That's right. Oh,
because it's
God.
like a voodoo thing.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, what a creepy movie that
Yeah.
is. Oh.
Yeah, and you got Nicholson again playing the devil,
Devil,
basically.
yeah.
and
Oh, that's
it's like-
right.
I love
Have
that
another
church scene
cherry.
where he's getting like blown away
Oh,
by
yeah.
the because they're using voodoo on him. And
Right. Oh my God.
So
That's
good.
so
You got Cher, Michelle Pfeiffer again.
Cher's in it,
and,
that's right.
And Susan Sarandon.
Oh
Yes.
God. Yeah. What a great movie. I gotta watch it again.
Yeah.
Ugh.
We're just gonna sit and talk about what movies we're gonna watch.
We can watch. We can watch. We can talk about horror movies all night. I love
Yeah.
it.
I mean, it's the spooky season.
But speaking of movies, we recently watched Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yes, and horror movies.
You haven't watched it yet, right?
Not yet, but
Right.
it's all good. I,
Yeah.
I know the real history.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of it,
It's
so-
really not spoiling anything.
Yeah, no.
So, Watson, what did you think of it?
Well, I mean, it's beautifully done. It's I think shot gorgeously. Like it's
Well, what's the synopsis of
the
plot?
story?
Yeah, which is based on a
okay.
true story.
It's based on a
unfortunately.
true story. So around the
1920s.
yeah, late
Yeah.
late 1900 like
Early
it's right after World War One.
Yeah.
Basically, it takes place where the Osage Indian tribe in Oklahoma are per capita like the most wealthiest nation in the land. I mean, they were basically moved from Missouri all the way to Oklahoma,
Right.
and on the reservation, and their land was kind of they couldn't hunt on it. It was kind of worthless, but it just so happened to be giant oil deposits underneath, and they were able to make a deal where they were able to get what was it called?
Head rights.
Head rights. Thank you for the land. And became super wealthy because of the oil.
Right.
But then, of course, like there was a lot of people that came into that area to exploit, and get the money for themselves.
Right.
And during this time, there was, I believe, at the end of it all, there was 26 reported deaths, but they said it could be in the hundreds.
Oh, in the hundreds, yeah.
Like
Yeah,
no one
yeah.
really knows because there's no real records.
Right. Because there was very few investigations.
Yeah, it was very like pretty much everyone in that area, like all the branches of government were covering it up. Like all the local, cops,
Local police were
doctors.
completely bought out.
These were clearly
Yeah.
murders. People getting
Right.
shot left and right, and they were calling it suicide.
Yeah, they'd be like shot in the back of the head. Oh, must have suicided
Yeah.
himself. Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
And through the course of the movie, you see Ernest, character played by Leonardo DiCaprio, come in, and he's left World War One. And he joins up with his uncle, played by Robert De Niro, who I think his name's King Hale.
Yeah.
And who basically is like saying, okay, like, what, you're here now, you can work for me, and you should probably marry one of these Osage women, so that way we can kind of manipulate the head rights to go to our family.
Right.
And one of these families in particular, there's 3 sisters and the mom, and they have, they have rights to land, and you see them systematically getting taken out one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's terrible. Like, it's terrible to watch how people just manipulate and, kill these people to kind of get their own gains out of it. And how it's, they're seen as like second-class citizens, or they're seen like underhuman, even one of the guys who they're trying to get to kill someone, they're like, "Come on, and just kill a guy." He's like, "No," and he's like, "Oh, come on, it's just an Indian," and he's like, "Well, then okay."
Right.
It's just terrible. It's like, and but I think the acting was fantastic.
Right.
I mean, what do you think, Stanley?
Yeah, I think it was a beautifully shot movie.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's Martin Scorsese, so we know that his shots and his acting is going to be top notch, right?
And this is a story apparently he was really passionate about to make,
right?
And actually filmed in Oklahoma with the Osage.
With the Osage, as advisors.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, apparently a lot of the actors are also descendants of the people who lived in that time. So it's based on a book, Killers of the Flower Moon, based on the true story of these Osage murders on the reservation at that time that, weren't even investigated, basically. You have somebody clearly murdered, like shot in the face, no gun anywhere. And the authorities would be like, I don't know, whatever, Yeah. There was no, the local police either didn't care or were bought out by interests outside of the tribe trying to penetrate them and take their money, take their head rights. And it seemed like the state government didn't care either.
No, because they were, it was a reservation deal.
Right, exactly. So technically it's a sovereign nation, but if the Osage asked outside forces to investigate, they could still do that, but they just didn't care.
Right, or most of those outside forces were taken out.
Were bought out by, so... and so eventually they had to send a delegation to actual Washington, D.C. to meet with the president at the time, Calvin Coolidge, and literally ask him, can you send somebody to investigate, like federal law enforcement, which was a new concept at the time because it was early 1920. So it was one of the first cases of the FBI. That was a brand new organization at the time. And
no one had heard of the FBI.
Yeah, like the guy, what's his name, who plays
Jesse Plemons.
Plemons, he plays an FBI agent. He shows up and he says, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And people are like, what?
Yeah,
what is that? It's like we're with the federal government. We're the Bureau of Investigation.
I love how the way he says they're
it.
like, oh, go see this guy, and then that guy's like, oh, go see this guy. Like they just give him the runaround.
Exactly. So and apparently Robert De Niro's character and Leonardo DiCaprio's character are based on real people.
Yes.
And it was because it seems like it's Leonardo DiCaprio's character is a little obviously. De Niro's character is very cut and dry. He just wants the head rights. He kind of is. He makes friends with the Osage, but he's not above killing them.
He's playing the part of their friend and ally.
Exactly. While he's ordering their murders.
Like he's literally at funerals going like, I'm going to give $10,000 to help with this situation and bring killers to justice. And at the same time, he is trying to rudimentarily get rid of the competition.
He's plotting the murders, basically.
And he's making sure his grandkids and family members are part of that lineage.
And he's using Leonardo DiCaprio and a couple of other people to murder the family members of Leonardo DiCaprio's wife.
Molly, who was played by Lily Gladstone, who was
amazing in this
really
movie.
Great.
Yeah, she's going to get an Oscar.
Absolutely.
She's so. It's not
a nomination, but yes.
I definitely wanted to see. I would prefer to have seen the movie through her eyes, make her the main character. Instead of
she does have kind of narration through the movie.
Yeah, but the main focus was certainly on Leonardo DiCaprio's character. Yeah. Like it's all from his point of view, which I get it, but I really wanted to see. I would have preferred to see her being manipulated, like she's been manipulated by her husband, Leonardo DiCaprio's character. But I wanted to see her point of view from that manipulation standpoint.
Well, the original script, from what I heard, was it mostly took place from the FBI's perspective. It was supposed to be Jesse Plemons was supposed to be the lead, and it was when Scorsese came on board, he was kind of like, where's the heart of this story,
right? And it's Lily Gladstone's character.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so they went more with that element, with that storyline of them and their kind of messed up relation of like, it does seem like he loves his wife.
That's what I was saying. It's complicated because he does seem like he's very in love with her, but
at the same time,
to him he's justifying. Well, it's her sister. It's not my wife.
Right,
you know?
right.
So he has his sister murdered. He has his sister-in-law murdered.
Yeah.
And then, but he's thinking like, in the end, I mean, I'm doing it for her because I'm her husband,
right?
And he's my uncle, so it all stayed within the family. But then he does this really fucked up thing towards the end of the movie where she has diabetes, and because she's so wealthy, she's one. They say in the, I don't know if this is historically accurate or not, but he says that she's one of the five people in the United States who can get this new treatment,
insulin.
Yeah. That's just a brand new thing at the time.
Yeah.
And she's given her insulin injections, and then we're not really ever shown exactly what he adds to the insulin.
Right.
That really messes her up. Like she's bedridden, she's barely conscious, she's sweating all the time.
Well, that's the thing is like you see through the course of the movie, there's a lot of people being struck by what they call the wasting disease, which is you just see, and then they keep saying like, oh, the Osage people,
don't live long,
they're sick,
they're unhealthy,
no one lives past 50,
right?
And you just see them wasting away. You find out they've been basically poisoned. It's like dog poison or something
like that. Yeah, we're not ever. It's a small vial of clear liquid that he drops. He's been dropping into her insulin.
His uncle just keeps saying, "Give her the whole dose."
Give the whole dose.
And he gives her some, but then he takes some as well.
He throws some in the coffee he's drinking.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was so he could like share the burden with her, or he could.
I don't know. Yeah,
it didn't seem, or he just wanted to try it. Maybe he got addicted to himself.
Yeah.
Who knows? It doesn't. I didn't really get that concept, but he's basically poisoning his wife. Eventually, and the really sad part, and I was so sad. While I was watching it, like the entire time, she's like crying to her husband, like, "Oh my God, my sisters, my mother, I think her brother-in-law is killed at one point. Yeah. No, her former husband, who it was like a ceremonial wedding, but they were close. They grew up together.
Yeah. One that was the whole thing when he finds out that was her former husband. He's like, "Oh, does he have some of the rights?"
Exactly. He happens to bring it up,
puts a target on her.
Yeah. And like the entire time that like people close to her and people in her community are being bumped off, she's like crying to her husband, like, what is happening? Like, I can't believe this. And she's like confiding in him. And the guy who's like planning the murders of his family members and her community members, which is so insane. Like, and she's like trusting him this entire time. And like, and the entire time he's giving her the insulin injection, she's getting worse and worse. And she even says, like, it's not doing anything. Like, this isn't, he's like, no, you got to take it. And you're like, holy shit.
And part of you, I mean, even I was like watching it, knowing he is poisoning her, still kind of believes that he wants her to feel better.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he's like, please take the medicine.
Right.
Even though he knows it's not good
and
for her.
It's because it seems like at any point, especially when she's bedridden at one point, is barely conscious. It seems he'd just like smother her with a pillow and that'd have been it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do that. He's just trying to kind of, but you get the sense that he might at any point.
Right.
But also that he doesn't want to because he loves her. It's a very complicated way they set it up. Yeah, but I mean, at the end, he's still a villain, obviously.
Well, and then the whole third act it's like almost a completely different movie. It turns to like this courtroom drama,
right?
Where you get to see like John Lithgow and Brendan Fraser comes in at that
they're
point.
In there,
and it's like him trying to turn on his uncle, then turning back, It's like this like he's going to testify to protect his family.
Yeah.
Then he's like, oh no, I'm not going to go after my uncle. I was manipulated by the FBI.
Right.
And then happens is one of his kids dies, and
whooping cough. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you just see him break down, and then he's like, I'm to hell with my uncle.
At this point, whatever. Yeah. And of course, his uncle the entire time is like, it's going to be okay. It's going because his uncle also gets arrested for. On charges of murder,
right? But he's so well connected and rich. He's like, oh, I'll get out of this.
Yeah, and in the entire time, you can. Robert De Niro's so good. Obviously, he's one of the greatest actors, but he gives off the vibe that's like, this is a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
When you clearly know, because as an audience member, he's been manipulating these murders. But he's just like, it'll be all right. And if you just listen to me, everything will be fine.
Right.
And then he's still, even towards the end of the film, he's still reassuring Leonardo DiCaprio's character.
Sending letters to the Osage people, going like, "I'm still a friend of the people."
Yeah,
like,
they still love me.
How many members?
Yeah. There's a terrible scene in there where a mother is putting her newborn away in like the crib. Yeah. And she's outside her home and like a gun. You just see a gun like come out the window and blow her away. And it's just like, what the fuck? And the guy just comes out and puts the gun in her hand and walks away.
Like,
and then, suicide.
Suicide. Clearly she got shot in the back.
Right.
Like, it's like...
Yeah, it's suicide. What the fuck? It's like right next to her baby. And okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
I thought he was going to go after the baby.
I thought so too, because he picks up the baby and walks away with it. And we're like, oh my God, what's going to happen now? Yeah. But yeah, so but I mean, the movie focuses apparently on these two characters, Leonardo's and De Niro's characters. But apparently there were more. It wasn't just that. I mean, there was other people
just isolated like that.
And they make the point in the movie that there's a lot of white men marrying Native women.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily for for goodwill. For love.
The one guy literally marries one sister. The sister dies, and then he marries the other sister.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a month later.
Right.
And then that's what Leo's like, I got to take him out too. Yeah. Because he's now getting more of the rights, you know?
Yeah. And there's a pretty horrible scene where they blow up the house.
Yeah.
Somebody plants dynamite. Well, as we find out, it's Leonardo DiCaprio's character.
Yes.
Plants dynamite in this suburb. So there's other homes around. His house is like right down the street.
Well, and even like, the uncle's like, I'm going out of town.
Yeah.
Just like,
I'll be in Dallas. And he's like, Did you hear what I said? I'll be in Dallas.
Yeah.
Which is like, do it.
Do it now. I got a perfect cover. Yeah.
The
it's a rough film.
The part where you said Leo was like also poisoning himself with the stuff. I can only, without seeing it, I can only imagine he's doing that to himself as a way of like punishing himself, sort of like
exactly. That's
kind of comes up. And I was, there was a lot of stuff brought up in the movie where they talk about it when he first shows up. He's a little punchy and like and the uncle's like, how's your gut doing? And he's like, I get a little gut disease kind of thing. Well, it never comes back. I was like, I thought that had something to do with like.
It seems like he had a hernia.
Yeah, because he couldn't do any heavy lifting, is what he said.
Yeah. But you're right. They kind of forgot about it.
And he's got like weird teeth through the whole film. I was like, what's with the teeth thing?
I think it's just the 1920s, I suppose.
But no one else has bad teeth.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just they decided like, I don't know.
Or maybe Leo picked it,
like he wanted to do his little Jack Sparrow thing, do something. I thought like the movie's great, but I do think it was a little miscast. Because doing a little research myself, because I was like, how through the whole movie they're calling Leo like young man, this boy,
right?
And I'm like, the guy's 50 years old. Why are they calling him boy?
Yeah, if he had played
and like
himself,
he just came from war.
If he had played Leonardo DiCaprio from Titanic,
yes,
that would have made him more sense.
And that's doing some research. The real Ernest was like 24, 25.
Right.
So I mean, like I thought like he would have been great in the uncle role. Like he's at that age now.
Yeah, you're right.
And like think of like him in Django, like he can turn that kind of on.
Yeah, that's true. That would have been good.
And I was thinking of like Barry Cohen, the guy who played the Joker in the Batman.
Oh yeah.
Koenig, whatever his last name. I thought he would have been a great because the whole point is that character Ernest is kind of dim. He's not the sharpest guy.
He's definitely very manipulative.
Very lazy and like he wants to make money. He's like through the whole film like, I love money. And he wants to do as little work as he can.
Yeah, he doesn't like working. He likes to sleep all day. Yeah. And he's very easily manipulated throughout the film. At one point, they're talking to him after he's been released from the FBI. Like, they beat you, they tortured. Like, well, no, they didn't. And then, they did. And when he's talking to his wife later on, he's like, they beat me and they tortured me. It's
like how he's like manipulated.
Yeah, and he's like, so he says it so convincingly, like they actually did that to me.
And Barry Koenig was great in Banshees of
Inisherin.
Yeah, and I thought like that he would be kind of the same character, but I thought he would be great.
Yeah, that would have been a good. I agree with that. I think. But
Scorsese loves going to his friends.
He loves going to De Niro. He loves going to DiCaprio. Yeah. De Niro apparently is probably about 20, 30 years older than the actual character.
Yeah, I was going to say like he's I thought he was granddad than an uncle.
Yeah, I thought he was fine in that. But yeah, I agree. I think maybe they should have cast maybe a younger actor in DiCaprio's role. Again, if he had his Titanic age DiCaprio, perfect.
Yeah, would have been
perfect.
Great.
You know.
Timothy Chalamet.
Even
Chalamet would have been if he's done everything right now.
Yeah.
He's got to be Wonka and Muad'Dib.
Even The Departed age DiCaprio would have been good.
Yeah.
That'd been perfect.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
I when you said the name Ernest, though, all I could think of was like Ernest Saves Christmas.
Well, Vern.
It's like if he was in Killers of the Flower Moon, it's like, well, they beat me up, Vern.
I got to poison my wife, Vern. Yeah.
Vern. So yeah, I think it was maybe it's 3.5 hours long.
Yeah,
I think that was probably like the biggest weakness of the movie.
But I don't know what you could edit out for that story.
Yeah, that's the other problem. Is like, I would think like maybe this could be an hour shorter. I think maybe you could. There was a scene where after the FBI has arrested people and they're interrogating them, and there's a part where it's Leonardo DiCaprio's character. Well, can I speak to him? Yeah. And then they go through that entire motion of him speaking to somebody else, and then they have that character speaking to somebody else.
Oh,
and you're
like Blackie.
Yeah, character? Blackie character. Yeah, and you're like,
I love that scene because like, oh my God, he's like, yeah, I'm in jail. I'm the scapegoat guy because Ernest at that still point thinks that like, oh, you can get, just go on my side and we'll get out of prison together. And he's like, no, this was the plan, was me to take the fall. Don't you get this? Like, he still doesn't understand like how much his uncle like says like, oh, Ernest, like you gotta give me the head rights too,
right?
So it stays in the family. And at that point, Ernest is dispendable,
right?
Expendable,
exactly. Yeah, I think some of those scenes, though, definitely, I think where it really dragged down was the court scenes.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, we could probably speed this, but maybe
that's what I was saying. It's like a whole nother movie.
Yeah, it really seemed like it, and I mean, but again, I think when you reach the status of the director that Martin Scorsese is, very few people are going to tell him no.
Right.
And especially Netter is not going to be like, no, that's not going to. They're going to be like, whatever you want, Martin.
I'm curious what you thought about the last scene, like doing it like a radio play.
I think, that was another thing that was like, okay, that's
kind of came out of left field.
Yeah, because I think they were kind of spoofing on the true crime. Like
podcast
enthusiasts.
Kind of
yeah. So at the end of the film, you see like a 1930s, 40s radio broadcast where they're doing everything live. Like, oh, here he comes down the stairs.
Yeah.
And there's a guy doing
Foley guy.
Yeah, he's doing all the he's doing all the sound effects.
It's just kind of the wrap up of the story of what happened to the real people.
Right. Wow. And then Martin Scorsese does a cameo in his own movie.
He has the last line.
Yeah, the last line, and he says that he's talking about
he does the eulogy of Molly.
Of Molly, and she says that the murders weren't mentioned.
Yeah.
At all, and that's it. And because the story really kind of made this happen, it finally started kind of sputtering around 1930s, the murders apparently, and because the FBI had stepped in. And it was, by that point, it was such a national headline that there wasn't a ton.
I mean, I hate to say it helped, but because they do kind of bring up the Tulsa massacre.
Right. So that's what,
and kind of spurred the FBI on.
Right. Exactly.
Because it was, you see like the Ku Klux Klan are there just kind of in the background. Like they literally are walking during a parade, and he's just like, "Hey, Frank," to like.
And one of the Ku Klux Klan members is the natives have to go and see.
Oh yeah,
like money managers to get their money every month, and so if they need extra money, they have to go to them and say, "Hey, we need money for this." And one of the accountant is
so messed up.
Is one of the Klan members,
right.
Which is so
and
strange.
He's like, "Why do you need so much money for meat and stuff like that?"
It's so condescending.
Yeah.
But at the end of the film, Martin Scorsese says that the murders never mentioned, but that the story itself kind of lay dormant till like the 80s, 90s when the writer of the book started researching it.
Yeah.
Wow. And the book was till the 2000s. Yeah. So I think probably late 90s or early 20s. So I mean, obviously this has been known within the Osage community for many years, but. For the next 70, 80 years, there wasn't a ton. There wasn't a ton of talk about national talk, at least.
Yeah.
And so that's what Martin Scorsese was trying to get at when he finally said that line, that the murders never mentioned, because it was just kind of forgotten, is basically what he said, which is
it's
American
crazy
tragedy.
That for such a young country as this is, how much of our history is kind of just forgotten and just
tons,
overlooked.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I didn't know about the Tulsa massacre till I watched the Watchmen show, and I was like, "Oh crap, that happened!" Because it's never really talked about.
I don't think a lot of people knew about it until then. I mean, I'd read about it back in college, when high school, but I didn't realize that not that many people knew about it until the Watchmen series.
Yeah,
which
kind of became publicly more
which
known.
Is insane. And just sad all around.
Yeah.
Killers of the Flower Moon. I highly recommend it. Yeah, Chad.
Do you think the courtroom part of it would have moved faster if Scorsese brought back another friend of his, Joe Pesci, as Vinny from My Cousin Vinny, and then he was
a weird crossover?
Yeah. That would have been very strange. And
these youths. These what?
Utes. Yeah. Oh, Utes.
So this oil, and then you see Marissa Tomei go, well, the oil of this T model car goes, And,
that is a trick question. I still remember saying that.
yeah,
Oh my God.
Such a good movie. Killers of the Flower
Funny,
Moon.
I tried rewatching My Cousin Vinny's on any streaming right now, and I was like,
Yeah, you got to buy it.
how is this not on
did you know
Tubi or
actual
something?
schools of for the bar to be a lawyer? They show that movie because that's the
Really?
most accurate court room session that's been.
Get out.
No, it is. They use it in class to teach. So I was like, that's
right.
shocking. Of all the
Yeah.
movies, you think The Firm
Yeah.
or something,
Right,
but
right.
No. But no.
John Grisham is like, God damn it.
There's a great scene where he is
The
he's
Rainmaker? No.
he's trying to explain to the guy how could you have seen my clients if they were 100 meters down the
Yeah.
road. He's like, I was over, and he starts going further and further back in the courtroom. And then he pulls up the picture of he's like, this dirty, disgusting window. That's how you were able to see out of it.
What are all these things on these trees?
Yeah.
Leaves?
Leaves. Yeah.
There you go. You got it.
Yeah. It's such a great movie.
Yeah. Well, Marissa Tomei got an Oscar for it, right?
That's right.
So,
She did. Yeah.
Deservedly so.
Killers of the Flower Moon and My Cousin Vinny,
Yeah,
both great films.
Weird range.
Very different atmospheres.
Very different. Yes.
So we're not trying to compare the two at all.
No.
But yeah, check it out, Killers of the Flower Moon. I'm very glad that it's doing well because of the story and the message that it gets out, but also because westerns are making a bit of a comeback.
Yeah.
And so I've got
absolutely.
so yeah.
And it's such an interesting time also in history where you had this phasing out of the old West ways of horses, and you see them, everyone's buying cars now,
Right.
it's still, the roads are kind of half and half
Muddy
at this point.
and
There's no real infrastructure,
right.
but electricity starting to show up in town. It's such an interesting period of time. This weird innovation. I mean, we all get a new iPhone now. It's whatever, no big thing, but it's crazy to even think that my kid doesn't know what a CD does, or what I mean. We're at this weird stage where everything's becoming more digital, and it's got to be the same back then, where everything was starting to become more automated.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I find it all interesting.
Yeah, and they still use it. It looks like they're still using oil lamps on part of the scenes, and it's just they're driving around Model Ts. And, I mean, it's the 1920s. It's that crossover between the old world and the new. It wasn't really until the 1930s where things were becoming a lot more modernized and a lot more mechanized and just in general for everyday life. So the 1920s was still this very gray area between old and new.
What did you think of De Niro's driving goggles that he wore?
Well, I mean,
it was weird.
Yeah, that's
I was what? No one else is wearing them, by the way. No one else is driving with goggles.
Did he look like Doc Ock?
He's got he's got
I'm gonna get that Spider-Man. Just a little bit.
He kind of had the Green Hornet look going.
Yeah, he did. He kind of did. And then how Loki season 2 has dropped on Disney Plus. Guess I'll watch it eventually at some point. If I remember.
It's a little, I mean, it's very much a lot of the same from season 1.
You're the only one who's watched it. I think.
I'm caught up. So yeah. It's. I mean, did you guys watch season 1?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
And
it was one of the first Disney Plus shows, after WandaVision, I think.
Yeah.
So I was excited.
Yeah.
Back, and then
it's funny how that's all
excitement's
gone down.
It's dead. It's no longer existent.
It's a lot of the same, unfortunately. It's a lot of.
So what do you think? I mean,
so far there are only 3 episodes in, and it's a lot of the repercussions of what happened with the death of the original Kang, the He Who Remains character.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to fix what they have is this time loom where, because the timeline is branching off, right?
Right.
And they have this device called a time loom, which is what kind of takes all the strands of time and makes the cohesive single timeline, right? Mm-hmm. And they're saying, because there's so many branches now, the whole thing's going to collapse and the TVA will explode and all these timelines will be killed, kind of thing. So the TVA's job now is kind of a race against time to fix the machine so that they can. They want to save as many timelines as they can, kind of thing. There's still a faction of them that are trying to delete as many timelines as because they're like, no, we can't have this many because the risk of invasion from Kang now, because with every timeline is a different variant of Kang can now come into the sacred timeline.
Mm-hmm.
But why are they okay with multiple timelines now?
Well, because they realize like how many billions of people, they're like, and they realize that every member of the TVA was a variant.
Oh, I
like
see.
that's why none of them have a memory before they joined.
Right.
Gotcha.
Like Mobius, like they were all plucked out of
Their
an individual timeline, and basically indoctrinated into the TVA.
Yeah.
So their goal is to try and fix the machine so it can actually deal with as many of the timelines as is happening.
I see.
And we just had an episode 3 which introduced Victor Timely, which is another Kang variant in the 1800s.
Victor Timely.
Victor Timely. It's an actual comic book name.
I know.
But so they had Jonathan Majors back on to play that part. Which is very interesting. I didn't expect to see him at all. So, but
do you think that they filmed this prior to the allegations?
I think they did. Yeah, because I think they did a teaser for it at the end of last season.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on with that case or if it's been resolved.
I think one of them was like the one that was supposed to be going to trial or something.
Right.
The first one that came out with him and his girlfriend,
right?
And the assault in the back, of the Uber, taxi, whatever it was. I think that one but then there's been more allegations since then. I think.
Well, I just heard about.
I think I'm not sure.
None of the. This is only off the top of my head, but there was some more footage seen of him walking by and this her going to the car after he's
maybe that
getting
was
in or something like that.
Okay.
So it's hard to say what the verdict is, but it's already so messed up that I don't think Disney will want to keep.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what the future looks like. For obviously, everyone at Disney feels like it looks panic is happening.
Yeah,
because they're canceling shows left and right.
Mm-hmm.
They're even with the Star Wars stuff, they're saying they're slowing that down.
Right.
I think there's a lot of reevaluation going on. The rumor recently was that Brie Larson might be done with Captain Marvel after this movie because she's so sick of all the negative response.
Oh no.
so
sad.
And I mean, for Marvel, their forward momentum was going to be like, okay, we got rid of the original guys, the original 6 are all pretty much done, and moving ahead with these new stars, with these new, and nothing's really clicked. I mean, what happened with Shang-Chi? No one knows.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of panic going on about, well, where are we going from here? So I don't know what's going on with Kang. I think that this might be the end of the Kang stuff.
Or
I think recast.
Or they recast because there's so many multiple
Gangs. True, yeah.
That's
and
the only
we
thing I
get
think
Snoop Dogg as Kang.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Well, have you seen the projections for Marvels?
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not great. Yeah. I mean, I never had anything against her. Obviously, I don't. Yeah. She's an actress doing what she does. Yeah. I didn't understand all the hatred towards. But when I watched the movie, I was just like, okay, I'm just like, nah. It wasn't anything against her. I just was like, it's not a character that I'm not. I don't think the character was done that well, so that's why I just wasn't interested.
They picked a later version of Captain Marvel that's not as well liked as
Marvel.
Well, no, I mean, her Captain Marvel before this recent one was more. I just want to say likable. I don't know, because this one the current one military,
right.
and if they went before that, I think they would have had something, but they wanted to. I don't know, for some reason they went with this one,
right?
And it's not. I love Brie Larson; she's a great actress, but I just think the writing for the character wasn't on point for her.
Wasn't great.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that, especially that first movie. They try to give her. I mean, they try to write it like a quote unquote Marvel character by giving her quips and stuff, and it just never rolled right off her. I don't think that's her personality.
You know what? I think if they instead of
They're like,
putting
everyone's
jokes-
got to be Tony Stark. It's like,
Yeah,
no.
if they got rid of all the quips, and
Yes.
just made it a straight
Yes.
like military, like if she was just
Right.
like badass military Kree or whatever warrior,
Right.
good. That's the way to do it.
Well, there's also like there's been the director of the Marvels has come out and said this Marvel movie is going to be different and it's going to be quirky and goofy, and I was like, what? That's
different
all of
about
them.
that?
That's a
Yeah.
lot of them.
Yeah,
Like, what do you
that's a
mean?
lot
You
of
know,
the
I
movies,
didn't.
yeah.
I was like, okay. I mean,
Right.
what's the difference here? You know, which to me means that they're going to throw in even more jokes in this, which is like enough with the jokes. Like, you know, it's just it gets harder and harder, and they all try to do this thing where it's like they'll follow up with something serious and then joke right afterward.
Right.
yeah.
And it's
And
like you can't do that all the time.
the
You know, it's
only
just like
movie
it's
that
just
they
the
really-
Seth. What's his name? Go ahead.
Oh no, it's like the only movie they really didn't do that in that was hugely successful was Black Panther.
Right.
Like they dealt with like his being a royal, having that responsibility of being a king / warrior.
Yeah.
Like I thought that movie was done so beautifully, and they didn't rely on quips. They just he played it
Right.
as,
Well,
you know.
when it was serious, it
Yeah.
was serious.
Yeah.
There wasn't any dumb little quips or anything like that.
Yeah,
You know,
and
it
didn't need it.
right. You know, when
If anything, I think the sister had the own quip. Own
right,
quips.
exactly. When he
or the guard.
Yeah.
What's her name? Not Viola, right?
one of the Dom
The
Dosh-
Melage?
Dom Melage,
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. I mean, yeah, there was them too. You know, but when he fought like Killmonger and he
Yeah.
lost, it wasn't like, oh, that sucked. Ha ha ha. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
it wasn't
right.
any of that. You know, they tried to follow this Josh Whedon kind of playbook of
Yeah.
like smart little dialogue. He knows where to put it though, to where it kind of works.
That's
you know,
the thing.
you know,
And
it's
you-
90% it hits. You know, with if you try to do that every single time without knowing the flow of it and where it
Right.
should go, you're gonna mess it
And
up.
it works with like a Chris Pratt or a Downey, where it's like those
Yeah.
guys can pull that off.
Exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
But not every actor has
Right.
that chops. You know?
Right.
But not every character should be quipping.
No,
though.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
But even watching the trailer for the Marvels, like I liked Miss Marvel as a show. I know I'm like a minority, but like I just saw the trailer, and I was like, meh, this is like another. I don't see any like real stakes. I don't
Yeah.
see
Right. It's
And-
very by the numbers, very safe.
There's no real follow through.
Right.
I mean, like someone mentioned, to me it was like it's been 4 years since the last Avengers movie, which is crazy. I was like,
Right.
it's really been that long? But there's nothing coming out that's like really got me excited to like go like the first Captain Marvel came out right in between the two Endgame and
yeah.
Infinity War. Like it was right in between those two, so it had that kind of thing going for it of like, this is kind of setting up all
Yeah.
that, and there's nothing to lead into now. Like it doesn't feel like I need to see this.
Well, even with Kang, I was like, so what?
Yeah.
You know, I was like, that's the villain. I mean, he lost in I mean, I know there's variants, but like, he was very easily beaten. So why is this guy a threat? I don't see how he's a threat.
yeah, I was very surprised.
Ant-Man beat him.
How
Like,
Ant-Man,
what?
I didn't
like,
think
what?
Ant-Man was going to beat him.
I wanted Ant-Man to end with Ant-Man dying and then
That's what I thought was going to happen.
That's where I
Kang
went.
escaping, and I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
right.
there you go.
That's stakes. Yeah,
that's-
Ant-Man goes up against him, and he kills Ant-Man, and they're like, oh, this is a serious villain here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he just killed one of the Avengers. I mean,
Yeah.
probably one of the weakest Avengers, but still an
Still,
Avenger
yeah.
who's had
Exactly.
combat time.
And then
and he
Cassie
killed him.
Lang, his daughter, was set up to be the new
Right.
kind of Ant-Man. So that would have worked as her getting revenge,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how great would that have been where she starts off as this very empathetic person who's I know in the movie she got arrested for protesting against removals of,
Right.
Yeah.
but it shows that she's empathetic to her people. She's supposed to be a good person,
Right.
and now she's turning darker because her father was killed by a Kang, and she wants revenge. And so that's her arc. She has to find her way back to make sure she doesn't lose her light.
Yeah, they've been slowly
would've been
setting
great.
up the young Avengers.
I just did that right now.
That's true.
They've been introducing the young Avenger characters, like in the Captain America Winter Soldier
Hawkeye
show
show
and Hawkeye show. And so that would be a progression, but we
Yeah.
haven't heard anything.
No.
No.
Well,
no.
and I really think they should have brought Kang into the Elementals movie, in the sense
Eternals. Yeah.
Eternals. Sorry, Eternals.
Yeah.
I said
That would have made sense.
But
Yeah.
if like you imagine him coming,
Because he's an immortal kind of being.
Right.
and-
well, yeah, he comes through time to stop the Earth from being destroyed by the
Celestial.
Celestial,
Yeah.
and he's like, and then he takes control of the Eternals and brings them to a different time to do
that.
his like that. There's so many things.
That would have worked. Yeah.
I mean, you're in a world of a comic book. You could do whatever you
whatever you
want, but
want.
the choices they've made are just so bland, and I just don't understand what.
Well, they're in this weird. It's this weird bubble where it's like we can't shake the snow globe too much because it's gonna. We've got 7 movies that we're planning out, and if like you do one that's kind of a crazy out there movie, it's. I mean, that was the problem. That's why Edgar Wright left the original Ant-Man movie. He was like 2 weeks into production, and they were like, "Well, we're setting up the Avengers. We're setting up all this," and he's like. I can't work with all these like restrictions.
Right.
You know, I want to make the Ant-Man movie I want to make.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you watch that first one, his fingerprints are all over that movie. Like those sequences, you know, like with the suitcase battle or the Thomas the Tank Engine battle. Like that's all Edgar Wright. You can tell because then the sequels are very bland. Like, and you know, no offense to Peyton Reed as a director, but I just like, I think the first one has showed so much creativity of what you can do with a shrinking man,
right?
You know, and we haven't seen any of that since.
No.
You know,
Agreed.
I mean, like if they treated these movies like actual issues of comic books, like
where they've been great.
If like anything that happened in space, okay, that's a whole section of movies that they have nothing to do with Earth. They just they're in space.
Yeah,
and then you have stuff that follows on Earth, and then you could have maybe another parallel dimension Earth just to do some weirder characters and stuff. And then slowly get them to mix each other, you know, and to combine and cross over, like, because not everyone reads every comic book.
Right.
They all like a different taste.
Right, and that's kind of what they were trying to do with the Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Right.
But then, now it has been a lot of like, oh, now Thor's going to show up in, or Hulk's going to show up in Thor. And, you know, like a lot of mix and match stuff. And, you know, even with, I saw this with the latest trailer for the Marvels. Obviously, I feel like they are a little panicked about people.
I think they're all panicked.
Yeah. So, like, even in the latest trailers, they're like, I think it's one point, like, Carol Danvers like, and I'm going to bring a friend. And you see, like, an Asgardian, like, Bifrost Bridge show up. And, like, they don't say who's coming or whatever, but it's pretty obvious, like, maybe it's going to be Thor, guys. Are you going to come see the movie?
No, Thor, yeah.
You know, or something.
I mean, after
Valkyrie or
like,
somebody.
Yeah.
That's something that they wouldn't put in an ad.
Korg.
You know, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it would be, yeah.
You know, it's going to be someone that you're like, okay, that person.
Yeah, they're leaving it open, so if they can't get Chris Hemsworth for some reason.
Yeah, I'm just interested because they would have never put that in the marketing if this movie was on track to do well.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, like I've said before, I wish them the best of luck. I'm not going to go see it just because I'm just not interested anymore in Marvel at all. Like you said, I'm not excited for anything that's coming out. I'm just like, I mean, I've seen it before a million times, and I just don't feel like spending
the only thing
money
I'm
on it.
Kind of looking for. I mean, if it ever comes out, is the Blade movie. You know,
is that where's that at?
I mean, that's been pushed back.
Right.
So many. It's gone through how many directors, how many writers.
Yeah.
And you know, it's unique in the way that it'll deal with the supernatural element.
Well, who's the director of the werewolf one? The Spanish.
Oh, that was he's the composer guy.
Michael Giacchino.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. He did a great job.
That's a great movie.
Now have him do Blade because
that'd be great.
It bleeds into each other. Supernatural, werewolves, vampires.
Did you see that they put it
in color?
In color and
I haven't watched it yet.
But
I love that they did it in black and white.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm interested.
I love that they did it in black and white. I love that.
Yeah,
it was such a good. What a great choice, man. Yeah, it was such a good. That's a good movie. I was like, this is wow. Why don't we get this? Why don't we get more of this?
Last Halloween, right?
Yeah, it did.
Like that. I mean, like if they let him kind of control the supernatural universe,
be the Kevin Feige of that kind of thing.
I would love to see his version of Doctor Strange because it would be that much more.
I like the Sam Raimi version, but I'd like a little darker version.
Yeah,
because there's more things that you could. There's so many things you can explore with Doctor Strange. Yet we've limited it to one reality, and it's just. It got boring for me so quick. I was like, I don't care.
It wasn't really the multiverse.
Right.
Just like, here's a couple of worlds.
I guess the only other thing I was kind of excited for was Daredevil, but we talked about that last podcast. How much of a dumpster fire that is right now.
Yeah.
They fired all the writers, and now they're looking for new. Maybe they fired new ones. I don't know.
Well, I
know,
mean,
it's just that's never a good thing.
They fired all the directors too.
Yeah, see, it's never a good thing.
They filmed 8 episodes and they're just scrapping all of that.
Yeah,
whatever that was.
Apparently he doesn't suit up for like 4 episodes, and they're like, nope.
Yeah, maybe that's a good choice.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. But I like a slow burn. I mean, like, this first, I think, like season 3, he's not in the suit for like a few episodes.
Yeah, but see, you can't do that too many times because it's like, okay, we know he has a suit.
Right.
Like the first season made sense because he was like in that mask forever.
Yeah.
And then finally he got the
last
suit.
episode.
Yeah, and at the end, and then season 2, from what I remember, because I don't really remember that season very well, he had it on, and then
pretty much the entire season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that made sense.
The one with the Punisher, and then it turned into the Hand.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was like 2 seasons squished together.
Yeah, it was very confusing. But the best part of it was Punisher, obviously.
Yeah.
But you can't go back to that. Like, he's got a suit.
Yeah.
Like he's got a suit. Just fucking wear it.
I mean, why don't they just grab the writers from the Netflix?
That's
series?
what people. That's what a lot of people were saying online. It's like, why don't they do? Because
a lot of logistics about the rights. Then the rights. This is technically a whole new show.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they don't want to tie it in with.
And the biggest thing is that apparently they don't want to spend the money. That's the other thing, which is kind of like. But just get the.
I'm sure if the writers from the Netflix series, if they loved it that much, they wouldn't mind restarting and creating a new story for Marvel or whatever, and like still keep it good.
I don't think it's the writers. I think it's probably studio executives are like, we're going to spend a lot of money and logistics and all that. Yeah.
Did you? I'm sorry, this is a kind of step around it, but in Killers of the Flower Moon, Foggy Nelson's in there.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw him in the background. He has no, which I was thinking like he probably had a bigger role,
right?
And when the director's cut,
just like
when the
in a scene, I was like, "Hey, it's Foggy."
Yeah, when the 7-hour director's cut comes out, he probably has a bigger role in that. Yeah, I saw him too in the back. I was like, I was expecting him to be a bigger part, but
me too.
He had no lines. I'm
Could you
sure
see
he has
him
lines
as Leo's role?
Ooh,
that'd have been interesting.
Yeah,
because he's younger. That'd have been interesting.
Yeah,
I could see that. I don't know if he has. Yeah, that may
the range for it.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great actor, but I don't know if he has the gravitas that was needed. That would be needed.
I always
forget
role. He's in Idle Hands. He's like one of the.
He is. I love that movie.
That's great.
That should have been on my list.
Yeah. See. And speaking of superheroes, the Spider-Man 2 game came out. What do you guys
see? And that's
looking forward.
The funniest thing. I'm not looking forward to Marvel movies, but Marvel video games. Hell yes.
Killing it right
on top of it, man.
Spider-Man 2, like the clips and things I've been reading about Spider-Man 2 I'm really pumped to play it.
I've watched a few people play walkthroughs kind of things on little areas, and man, it looks so good.
I've been trying not to spoil. I mean, it's obvious probably who Venom is, but I try not to spoil it for myself until I play it. But
but just the way the suit looks, the way it
looks
interacts,
so
I'm like, ooh.
Looks so good.
And like
so good.
Just the writing of how they're changing around the characters to work for the story. It's like I kind of wish. I mean, the Tom Holland movies, they're okay. Yeah. But if they turn these 2 to 3 games
into movies,
I would be all over it.
I totally agree.
I agree.
I think it'd be a great way to introduce Miles Morales into the live action world. Yes. I mean, like Tom Holland is that age now. He's what, 25, 27?
Something like that, yeah.
So, maybe it is time for him to kind of hand it off. And you do like a 3-movie arc where, he, trains a young Miles Morales and passes it off.
With the...
that'd be good.
With the characters in this game, though, I would say Spider-Man would probably be around a little longer because he's only meeting some villains that you would think he's already met just now. So I love Miles Morales, but like I grew up on Peter Parker. He's my Spider-Man, so I'll still play.
He's your number one guy.
If he does die eventually in one of these games, I'll still play obviously Miles Morales and stuff because his character's fun to play as well. But it's just like that. But that's like growing up, I always played a Spider-Man game, and it was Peter Parker. So like that's my guy. That's my guy. That's my boy.
Yeah.
He's my boy.
And I like that they went with kind of an older Peter.
Yeah.
But he still has the same issues as Peter Parker. Like it's the DNA is still there. He's still can't pay bills.
And instead of an actress, Mary Jane's a reporter.
Yeah.
So that gives her reason to get into the mix of
She works for Jameson.
And then Miles Morales is the one who has the guy in the chair type of character.
Which is true to the comic book too.
Yeah, but which was weird because in Tom Holland's he's got a guy in the chair,
right? Who looks like the character that was in the comics for Miles.
Yeah. So,
but has the name of Green Goblin or Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
But
weird.
I'm very excited for it, and I hope they keep making them or just go to other characters.
I'm interested to see where. Yeah. Well, I think their next game is the Wolverine game. Have I got that right?
Oh yes. Wolverine.
So that should
Wolverine's
be coming up. I don't know if it's Insomnia that's doing that, or
I'm not
I forgot
sure.
It's Rocksteady or Insomnia is doing.
But there's been rumors of possibly, or at least fans have been saying they would love to see a Venom spin-off of this game.
Interesting.
Oh,
yeah,
and I'd be
good.
like, oh man, that would be very interesting.
Lethal Enforcer Venom,
like a prototype game. I don't know if you've ever played that one, but it was sort of like almost you had a symbiote in your arms.
Yeah, you like adapt and get bigger. Yeah,
that's pretty dope.
But yeah, no, Insomniac, they're killing it. Marvel, just hire those writers.
Yes,
exactly. You know what? The good thing was they took their time with this one.
No, they did. They did. It was a while.
5 years since the last one.
Well, it was weird because Miles Morales is a much shorter game than the first one, so it came out very soon after the first one.
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot even that one came out.
Yeah, and so then they took their time after that to develop this game. So yeah. And there's fall damage now in this new one apparently. But you can turn it on and off. If you don't think you could be Spider-Man for real, you need a little handicap baby mode.
I started playing the game and I broke my legs.
But I'll be playing with fall damage on.
Oh, excuse me.
Because I'm Spider-Man.
You're Spider-Man.
I'm Spider-Man.
That's right.
Man. I'm a man.
You also saw Totally Killer, Chad.
Yes.
On Amazon. I saw the trailer for this. It looked really interesting. Yeah. Give us a breakdown on it.
Pretty much, it's very quirky, very fun. Like, because the time period of the movie, like the present day, is actually 2023 October. So I was like, oh, that's so funny. That's what it is right now.
Cool.
Maybe I'm sure they planned that for the movie. But so the whole concept is I'm blanking on her name, but the actress from Sabrina on Netflix.
Oh right, yeah. She was on Mad Men as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's the lead, and her mother, Kiernan
Shipka.
Yes.
Excuse me. God bless you.
God bless you. She's the daughter of. Her mother is a survivor of an 80s serial killer who killed all of her friends on their. He was called the Sweet 16 Killer, and he would stab them 16 times, and then she was the only one left alive, and then she's been kind of afraid ever since. So anytime she's going out or anytime her daughter's like going somewhere on Halloween, she's worried that like something might happen to her. And her daughter's very rude to her and just like, shut up, mom, type of typical teenager.
Yeah.
And as she's out and about, the killer comes back and kills her mom, and which causes her to. And it immediately gets absurd because like her best friend, who's like, yeah, I've been working on a time machine, which is already
by the way,
yeah, and like
as kids do,
and that's what's so fun about it because like I didn't even question. I was like, yeah, no, let's already.
Yeah.
So
Peggy Sue got married.
Yeah, like mix almost like the horror Freaky Friday type of humor type of thing. But this really worked weirdly for some reason. I didn't really have a problem with any like choice they made with that where there was like a festival in town and there was a science fair being held at the festival, and that was her friend's project, the time machine. And after a while of obviously being upset about her mother's death, she's like, you know what, I'm going now. I want to use your time machine now to stop the killer in the past from killing her friends and getting them caught back then, so she'd still be alive now. And the killer immediately starts stalking her before she hits the time machine, and he actually stabs through. And it's the time machine is pretty much a photo booth.
Okay,
and
interesting.
So he stabs in there, and his knife was the metal conductor that it needed to actually work because her friend was still having trouble with it. And so it sent her back in time, and she's in the 80s, and it's just very fun. Like, it's a lot of cliche things from the 80s. Obviously they cover and bullying, but the thing is, since she's from modern day, she's like, you can't bully people like that. Like, she's very...
You have to be sensitive to people's feelings.
Yeah,
and it's the 80s to be like, what the hell are you talking about?
Everything that you would think a young kid would be saying back then was like, the 80s are wild. I can't believe you could just... Like, she just entered the school, no problem. And just like, I'm looking for so-and-so's class. And he's like, it's down here. Or
There's no sign-in sheet.
She had to sign in because she was saying she was like an exchange student, and she was like, "All right, just sign the sheet, and this is your schedule." And like she's like, "The 80s are wild," and it was just so funny to see her reaction to all the things that were just nonchalant, and as she's just trying to help the friends, she finds out that her mom and her gang are just the Heathers. They're like terrible people. And she keeps trying to help them at first, but they're resisting. But then, obviously, when the first one dies,
do they talk shit to her when she tries to introduce them?
She's
to the Heather group.
Like her, I forget what her mom calls her or something like that. She's like, "Mom," and she's like, "I mean, Mamacita." So, but it was very fun. Like,
it looks like it skews more comedy than
very,
it's
very
definitely
much,
it's definitely a horror
so.
comedy.
Yeah. But I think everyone should watch it. It's lots of... If you're a big slasher movie fan, and like just it just hits all the notes. Right?
I definitely want to see it. The trailer looked a lot of fun. Looked like a lot of fun, and I especially like how the killer is like this like yuppie kind of like Bates.
He's got this white mask with a big grin. We were watching it in a group, and someone said Johnny Bravo, and I kind of said George Michael because he had the cross earring on the mask.
Oh wow, yeah.
And so it's kind of a weird mesh of that. Someone actually said it's inspired off something. I forget.
I thought it was Patrick Bateman.
No, I think it was something else. I thought because that was the 80s. The killer was in the 80s. It was the book.
Well, I mean, I thought that's what they were trying to do in the movie. Like, it's Patrick Bateman type of. I thought it was like. I mean, it's like a yuppie kind of.
Well, not necessarily because he was wearing like a hoodie or no.
I mean the mask.
Well, the mask. I guess
that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
There is something else. I forget what my friend said, but they said it's based off of this, and I'll have to look it up later. But it's the action is great. The gore and stabbings are just pretty brutal.
Nice.
I think it's got everything you want.
And that's on Amazon right now?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. Yeah,
Amazon Prime. Yeah,
check it out.
Yeah, I saw the trailer over the weekend. I was like, that looks cool. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah,
I had my doubts because I never saw Happy Death Day or anything, but people love that.
Yeah,
apparently.
that's a great movie.
I think it's in the same. Yeah. I think it's in the same vein of comedy horror.
It certainly seemed. I got the same vibe from it. Yeah,
so I do want to watch those Happy Death Days
microcosm of time travel horror movie.
Yeah. So Happy Death Day is so funny how she keeps like that scene where she just keeps dying over again. She looks so bored.
Yeah,
as she keeps getting murdered.
But I think if you love those movies, you'll definitely love this movie. So check it out. Hopefully, I mean, I don't.
Happy Death Day 2 is actually pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, it is good. Yeah. It is good. Yeah.
I'm not sure they can't really do a sequel with this movie, but I mean, maybe
they'll find a way.
They could if
It'll be a different kid in a different
time. So, you maybe get a sequel. Cool.
You mentioned Freaky Friday, but there's that movie Freaky with Vince Vaughn.
That's what I was trying. That's what I was trying to.
Goes into the high schooler's body.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good one too.
Is it? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Same kind of vein of that kind of slasher comedy.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's good.
Disney also announced a live-action remake of Gargoyles.
Yeah. So I think we're bugged. Or someone's paying attention to our Rainbows
Mickey,
thread.
They're onto us.
I know.
Yeah.
Stop selling our ideas, Chad.
You bastard.
They're not paying me anything.
We literally brought this up a few months back. We were on our group chat, and we were talking about like...
And amongst all the Dick and Fart jokes.
Yeah, we were just
every now and again we come with some good stuff.
Having fun of like, I don't know, who would you cast in a live-action Gargoyles?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And lo and behold... Disney comes out with the news. Oh, yeah, we're making a live-action Gargoyles show.
Yep.
I mean, obviously they're not going to go with our casting because I think they were all like way too expensive actors.
But they should.
They should.
It was
I mean,
pretty
they
good.
should.
It was pretty good.
I mean, if they are doing CG, because their live action means CG most of the time,
Right.
So if they are doing that, then you have to get Keith David to
do the voice. Yes.
I mean, if you don't, then I'm like,
God,
what are you
so
doing?
good, man.
I was like, oh no, he'll play a background character of a random,
I mean, it's definitely gonna be CG. They're not. It's Disney, so they're not gonna put the money into practical effects. So it's definitely gonna be CG but of course Montoya is gonna be a real person.
Yeah.
Well,
imagine Peter Jackson doing gargoyles because he'll freaking deck them all out in
that'd be
actual.
interesting.
Who does Carl Urban play? Oh, is he Xanatos?
No, I don't see him as I see him as
Carl Urban, huh?
I'm just like thinking of.
I see him as Brooklyn.
People that work with Peter Jackson.
Brooklyn's the brown one, yeah. I see him as Brooklyn.
Broadway.
Broadway.
Broadway,
sorry.
yes.
Broadway. I see him as Broadway.
He's
got that kind of humor.
Oh no, Broadway's the fat one. Brooklyn is the
Brooklyn is the.
Is it the small one?
No,
it's
that's
Lexington.
Lexington,
yeah.
That I would pick Peter Dinklage, but I was like, he's being a shit, so he wouldn't get the job. You're not getting the job.
Why is he being a shit?
Because he's taking away jobs of small people from.
Oh, because of Disney.
Yeah. I was gonna say because I just saw him. I watched. Justin and I went and saw the Toxic Avenger remake.
Oh yeah.
A few weeks back, and he's great in it.
Really,
he's so good.
What part does he play?
He plays Toxie.
Yeah.
Really?
He's the Tintin.
Oh, cool.
Is he the form before he turns into?
He is both.
Really
interesting.
Because I remember in the original he grows. So.
Yeah, he's in the original he's a small nerd turns into a 7-foot giant monster. They don't do that in this.
Oh, okay.
But it's still really fucking good.
I'm more interested how Elijah Wood does.
Elijah Wood's killer in it. So good.
Wait, so it's Toxic Avenger. He's Dinklage's height?
Yes.
Interesting.
But it's all practical suit. I mean, he's in it the whole time.
Oh, okay.
And the makeup's amazing. The guy who directing it did a Q&A after the fact, and you could tell he was just such a huge fan. Where like when someone like it was the company went to him like, hey, what's your pitch on a Toxic Avenger movie? He's like, why would you ever remake this? It's like perfect the way it is. But he was like, he came up with this whole the storyline is a little different than the original. It's more of a father-son story.
Oh, cool.
And I don't know, this like out of left field, but it's such it keeps the essence and the DNA of the original movie where it's this kind of cuckoo, insane, gore fest, fun, weird movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
And yeah, we saw the screening. I don't think they have a distributor yet, but they hope for like next year release.
Cool.
And it was such a blast. I'm sorry, I didn't even bring it up before.
No, I completely forgot that.
Yeah, but it was such a good film. But yeah, Dinklage is great in the movie.
Yeah.
I want to see a Toxic Avenger Swamp Thing fight.
Ooh, that'd be good.
No,
Swamp Thing though is just so he's so overpowered because he's just
that's true.
Well, he can use any.
But he's Toxic Avenger can poison his plants and all that.
True.
What about Toxic Avenger versus Man Thing from is that DC?
That would be
DC. The Man Thing is Marvel.
Marvel. Okay, Marvel.
Yeah, he shows up in Werewolf.
Yeah.
He burns people by touching them.
That's right. So good. God, Werewolf by Night is such a good movie, dude.
Yeah.
Let's just get more of that.
Let's
just go. Let's just do that more. But shift into a different movie. Shift into a different movie that you saw with your kid, Paw Patrol.
Oh,
because I bring this up because you were praising this in the Bros chat.
It
came out of nowhere, out of left field. Like guys. I saw Paw Patrol.
Best.
It'll make you cry.
Movie
I was like,
of
what?
the year. Obviously this year has been very kind of lackluster when you think of superhero genre, like things that came out this year, like Ant-Man, Quantumania, and
that came out this year.
That did.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
I thought it was end of last year.
Thor: Love and Thunder,
Blue Beetle.
Flash. These movies really do not perform as well as we wanted them.
Right.
Yeah.
Paw Patrol does not disappoint.
Why is that?
It's a very. I mean, look, it's very very easy story. Like it's a very they're the Paw Patrol, right?
Yeah.
Right. A bunch of dogs that run around, save the day, and then this meteorite lands and has crystals inside that gives them superpowers. Okay, so now they're the Mighty Pups. They've changed from Paw Patrol to Mighty Pups. It's a weird thing.
Okay.
But and you've got a villain who just wants the crystals for herself. And the whole time I'm watching, I'm with my 5-year-old kid. We're on a play date with his friend. They're enjoying it. They're laughing and dancing around, and I'm watching this, going like, this movie shouldn't be this good. This movie should, like, there's shots in there. There's like a harrowing escape from a plane that's falling, and it's shot so well. It's like a John Wick movie.
Really?
Yeah, like you see, like it's like this first person thing, and then the dog's moving through the cabin as the plane is falling. I'm like, this is done really damn well. And I was just like, I was really surprised how much I like this film.
Okay.
But it's an hour and a half. You're in, you're out.
Perfect.
Wow. Yeah.
Perfect. Why not?
And, you know, it's got some meta jokes. They talk to, you know, like literally talking about, like, the Paw Patrol has now changed their name to Mighty Pups. They've changed the whole gear. Sorry, parents. Like, there's going to be new toys to buy. And, like, all the parents in the crowd are laughing because, yeah, that's what happens
that makes
to your
sense.
wallet.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why they did that.
Yeah.
And then years later, they'll do a live-action movie of Paw Patrol, and it'll be extra serious.
Yes, exactly.
And they'll be like, God damn it, we don't use guns, all right? Because he accidentally...
Damn it, Chase, you killed 3 people. Yeah.
He stole all the bones from the bone store.
So you shot him in the back?
He had it coming. He's drinking. God, you're suspended.
You were suicide.
You're badge
shot
and
him
gun.
6 times in the back.
You're badge and gun detective.
Scorsese brings you Paw Patrol.
Yeah. And speaking of John Woo type movies, Silent Night trailer just dropped a little while ago, and we just watched it before the podcast started.
So good.
And it's
John Woo's return to Hollywood.
John Woo's
bringing
back.
it back.
Yep. Remember he did a bunch of stuff in the late 90s. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Hollywood.
He was on a great
He
run.
did a ton of stuff.
Hard Target.
Yes.
Face Off.
What was the one that Chow Yun-Fat was in? He was an assassin.
Oh, the Killers?
With the Killers with Mira Sorvino.
Replacement Killers.
The Replacements?
No, you're thinking. No, yeah, the Replacement Killers.
There we go.
Replacement Killers, yeah.
I had to pull that title from
Yeah.
But
I still remember that scene where he's walking through the nightclub.
The killer was still in Hong Kong.
Yes, that was
Hard Boiled as well.
His calling card movies.
But
Mission Impossible 2.
Broken Arrow,
yeah. Mission Impossible, yep.
You know,
yeah, Mission Impossible 2,
which kind of soured everyone because that one was way John Woo-y.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of doves and a lot of double guns.
Well, and I love it. I excuse me, sorry. I love it, but it just, for me, it didn't fit that movie.
What's funny when you watch like all those movies, I recently watched all the Mission Impossibles before the last one came out. It sticks out like a sore thumb that series of movies because it doesn't match any of the others.
No, and I think it went, but without that movie, I think we wouldn't have all the mask reveals.
For sure.
So it did set the zaniness
some of the tone,
the later movies to come.
Remember he does like a front flip and he like kicks the guy in the chest.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like ridiculous flips.
And that's John Woo, baby.
Yeah. So much slow. If you take all the slow-mo shots out of that movie and like ramp him up to regular speed, that whole movie's like an hour. There's so much slow-mo.
But I'm just really excited for this because it seems like he's going back to his roots of like early 90s hard boiled or Broken Arrow because you see a lot of the effects used. He does a lot of practical with the explosions.
See some squibs.
Like the over exposed gun flares from just things like and there's
the muzzle flash
ricochets off things and like
and you brought this up, but he really wanted to make a silent movie if you can, a little
playing on the names,
as least dialogue as you can put into a movie. So I mean, the main character is a father whose kid gets killed, and it's some gang violence, and he gets shot in the throat, and I believe, and then is mute.
He's not able to speak
except through his fists,
and through his fingers.
Yeah, it's Joe Kinnaman.
Yes,
who's the main actor.
He was Rick Flag,
and he was the new RoboCop in the remake.
Yeah, he's a good actor,
and he had that sci-fi show on Netflix.
Altered State.
Yes, he was very good in that too.
Season 2 with Anthony Mackie in that.
Also, I think there was a show called The Killing Field.
Yes,
or
Killing Field. Yeah,
he was really good in that.
Really good. Yeah, He's like one of those actors that he always every time I've seen him, he's done something good with whatever he does. Even though some of the projects he does are not great, but Listen, if a studio came up to me and was like, "Do you want to be a RoboCop?" Fuck.
Who wouldn't jump on? Yeah, as an actor, who wouldn't jump on that? Yeah, exactly.
But
and they came to me,
and you were in the movie with Gary Oldman and Michael Keaton.
And they came to me and said, "Do you want to write the new RoboCop?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Dead or Alive, you're coming with me, baby."
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I would just be like, somewhere along, like, "Hey guys, do you think we're making the right turn here with the what's happening in the movie? You know, I don't think we're hitting all the. I just watched the movie in my trailer, the original. We're not hitting.
It's certainly.
Marks.
I mean that It's just it's hard to because they keep trying to repeat these things from the past of these huge hits, and you just can't do it because not only does the audience already know what you're doing, so that takes away from it. Like the original RoboCop, we were like, okay, this is interesting,
right?
And you watch it, and it's like, first of all, it's something that had never been done before, not online, not in that scope, and then the way that everything is done, like there's that scene. And I watch it sometimes on YouTube because it's so well done, where he goes into that drug lab and he's shooting up. And like the way that the director
Paul Verhoeven,
Paul wrote, like the way he shot that and the way the RoboCop, everything in the way he moves in that is to it's not random. It's like he uses like his arm to like balance himself out as he fires.
A lot of that was because they didn't have the suit till like 2 weeks before.
I was just about to say,
and so he rehearsed just walking like normal, and then you put the suit on and you go, oh, I can't
move,
and
they use it to his advantage. Exactly. It's like this is a human in a cybernetic suit,
right?
So of course it's going to be clunky,
exactly.
So it works to the movie
sound
itself.
Design of just every motor that every servo that goes. It's
still to this day like that scene where the cops turn on him and they're all opening up on him and he's just got his hand up and. Oh my God! It's still to this day. I see it and I want to cry, dude. It's
and
just
that
like,
movie doesn't work without that director because he had a very distinct point of view of like he made this movie making fun of Hollywood big action movies.
Right.
Like that's why it's so satirical.
There's
and
a lot of
that's why it's so over the top with the violence. Like he's like, oh, no one just gets shot once. You get shot 900 times.
Yeah.
We're gonna fill you with so much fake blood, and every squib on the universe is gonna be used in this movie.
Yep.
And it makes for such an amazing movie.
It's such a good movie, because I mean, and the parts that are serious.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like I said, that part where the cops are gunning him down, and and it's like his own people, and you could see like the hurt and the betrayal on him as he's like rolling away from the gunfire.
Or when he goes to his home and he finds out his family left, it's being sold, but. As he slowly gets angry and he starts moving and punches the screen.
Yeah,
and it's like, it's great.
Guys, watch RoboCop.
And the practical effects.
Yeah. When he takes his
I don't know.
off.
Did they do that for the new one? Where was it practical?
I think he had a practical suit.
Yeah.
But there's the scene where they do take away the suit, and he's just like he's just basically lungs in the face,
right?
Oh, okay.
And he's like, "Oh God, put the suit back on." Because they did a smart. I will applaud them for one thing. They didn't just do a remake of the original.
Okay.
Which they kind of went the opposite way of he's very human when he first wakes up and he's in the suit. Mm-hmm. He's Alex Murphy. He remembers who he is. He's very human. And then through the course of the movie, they take away his humanity,
right?
Because he can't deal with being just a cyborg. So they're like, well, if we up the amount of processing in his brain. We can make him more compliant.
Yeah.
And, we can he will think he's in control, but he's not.
Right.
And so, it gets to a point in the movie where he becomes that kind of stunted RoboCop that we all know.
And that's very good because that is a plot in RoboCop 2 where they fill him with so much of these directives and garbage.
He's just so compliant.
That he can't, find his humanity again, but he slowly does as he's
exactly
executes himself.
That's a good movie too. I don't care what people say about it. RoboCop 3 is good too, man. It's got its moments that are
I haven't
decent.
seen 3 in so long, but I will say this: 3 was made for kids.
Right.
The first 2 are for adults,
right. But there are times in 3 that's first of all they kill off kill off Lois, which is holy shit! Wow, they have the balls to do that. There's a scene where like the cops are all like OCP is telling them to go out and clear out all the people, like victim forcefully, and the cops are like no, and they take off their badges and they throw them on the ground
because they don't work for the corporation.
That's such a powerful scene because all the cops are like, fuck this, man, we're not going to kick people,
nice
and then they join the fight against the splatterpunks and the rehab people, whatever they're called. There's a legitimately like freaky part in the beginning where they get caught in that splatterpunk territory, and then you just hear the splatterpunks like laughing in the wasteland of Detroit, like ha ha ha, ha as they're surrounding them. It's a good movie. It's got its moments.
It's got its moments. Falls victim for like in that time period. Like everyone's action movie had to have like a kid sidekick.
Exactly.
So it had that little girl who could control the 209, which I was like, that's kind of cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, she was a little hacker. Yeah,
but it was you know. It's like Terminator 2, like
it had its moments, in there. Yeah.
Speaking of RoboCop, the RoboCop Rogue City video game came out like a couple weeks ago, I think.
Have you played it?
Not yet, but I've been watching gameplay, and it's obviously not the most advanced stuff, but it plays like a RPG, first person, and it's much more deep than I thought it would be because you're in the precinct, you're talking to people coming in. It's like, I need help with this.
And Peter Weller doing the voice.
Yeah, Peter Weller.
I've heard good things about it before it came out.
And Lewis came back too. The voice. Nice. So like, I really want to play it because I'm such a fan. Even if it's not amazing for me, or if it gets boring, I still have fun because you still have the gun. And like, it's very brutal when he like punches people and stuff like that because he's a robot and they're like, you know. But no, a lot of the gameplay looks lots of fun, in my opinion. If you
they missed an opportunity though in RoboCop 3, could have had Lewis become Lady RoboCop.
When I first watched it, I thought that's what they were going to do.
Right.
Yeah. When I was a kid, but then she just died. And I was like, holy shit! Like they just killed him. They just killed Ann Lewis. Like that's a major character. I couldn't believe it.
I think that was the actress's choice, though.
Yeah, I think so. As I recall, she
didn't what would have been
she didn't want to do it anymore. No.
Perfect for 3, in my opinion, because everybody, that it's always been OCP as the bad guy,
right?
And like the third one, it should have been like the boss of OCP from all 3 movies. He gets his own mech suit and he's like, "Hey there, son!" And just
an Avatar type fight.
Yeah,
he's like his own Ed 209.
I was gonna say they did that in the Wolverine with Silver Samurai.
That's right. I forgot about that. That movie was not good.
Yeah, it was good until like the last third of the movie. I thought that movie was great.
The way that they started off with him being in different wars was really dope, but then it kind of
Or the head of OCP raises out of his chair like Kenneth Branagh and
he's got spider legs,
and he's like.
He's like a Kang type character.
Yeah. Like I love that design of his robot in 2, Kang, the bad guy robot.
Kane.
Yeah, it was so cool because
he was
going up the elevator. Like,
yes,
like,
he's got the forearm.
Yeah, he's got that like hook claw thing. Yeah, it was great, and the way he would go crazy when someone would give him the nuke. Yeah. Oh, it was good. And that crazy kid who had that like little like foldable machine gun.
Turns into a boombox.
Yeah. By the way, we were talking about Silent Night trailer. And
sorry. Because
this is what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks really interesting. It looks super fun. The guys, it's a simple revenge movie. It looks like a drive-by kills the guy's kid.
Yeah.
And he gets shot in the throat and he can't speak.
Very reminiscent of Face Off because Nicolas Cage tries to shoot John Travolta and kills his kid. And then he's got that little scar on his chest.
Yeah. I hope we don't get any like face waterfall. Kind of stuff. And
my God, what a crazy movie that was.
No, do it. Joe Kinnaman, I want face waterfalls the whole movie. Because he can't talk. How is he going to communicate?
He can't communicate. That's right, yeah. Face Off so
it's
crazy.
It's not a weird thing to do to anyone.
You know what would be amazing? If we don't know it, but there's like a cameo or at least a part Nick Cage is in the movie in some capacity.
And he's like, just shoot me, because I don't give a fuck. I'm ready for the big one. That was so Nick Cage, that movie. They're just like, Nick Cage is being Nick Cage.
Yeah, he improvised that because I at one of the past Beyond Fests, John Woo came to talk because they were doing a double feature of Face Off and I think The Killer. Yeah. The Killers, and he after he was talking, and in the crowd was I want to say it was the script, the writer for Face Off, and someone asked a question about Nick Cage like improvising lines, and it's like, yeah, we didn't tell him to say that at all.
Really?
And I was like, that's hilarious.
That makes so much sense, dude.
And,
I didn't know that until this
I
moment.
knew that they
That's
did.
hilarious.
Nick Cage did all his stuff first as Kaiser.
Troy,
And then Travolta had to like match that energy, and Travolta was like, "Ah, shit." That's where we're going with this.
That must have been exciting, dude.
Oh, man.
That must have been exhausting for him.
There was rumors of a Face-Off 2 happening, and I really wanted it to happen.
I believe it'll happen. I believe it'll still happen.
I mean, I don't know how you'll bring Nick Cage back because
he died.
Dead.
Yeah,
but I don't care.
I remember
whatever.
I remember the trailer for that. He was like, "My name is Troy, whatever, Castor Troy, and I have to get, and I will become him."
Yeah,
just like what the fuck.
Yes.
I was like, "What is happening here?" So yeah, Silent Night. It looks pretty dope. Action scenes that they released in the trailer look really good. I can't wait to see it.
It also reminded me of like Kevin Bacon's Death Sentence a little bit too. Where he goes. Yeah. That's a great one as well. Yeah. Underrated, in my opinion. But
wasn't that just like a remake of Death Wish though?
Not exactly, because Death Wish is him wanting vengeance,
Charles
but
Bronson.
he doesn't meet that whole movie. He doesn't run into any of the people who did the crime. He just shoots random.
He doesn't?
No. Yeah.
I watched it when I was a kid. I don't remember.
Yeah, none of the actual criminals that did the crime in the beginning of the movie. He's just shooting random criminals, which is more disturbing.
It is.
And like that's what's really good about it. But then like the movies after get a little more silly.
They get crazier.
But
and crazier.
I love Death Wish 3 with the.
Was that the one in the neighborhood?
Yeah,
that shit was so nuts. And with all the gangsters, or just like all the gamers, like they're wearing like leather vests, and like a leather cap, and
the
that's
war vet. The old people have like a Browning.
Yeah,
there's like.
That one dude has like a zip gun.
Yeah,
he's like pop.
I love that.
A homemade zip gun. It's the craziest. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
It's so. And then he's like, oh, I asked for my friend Charlie or something like that to come, and it's like this big ass gun. It's just like, what the fuck.
But my favorite is when someone like he has something, so they would want to steal it from him, and then the guy.
Oh yes.
But this guy's known for being fast, and then he steals it, and he's running away, and then Charles Bronson just takes out his cannon gun and
big ass shoots him in the back. Like Jesus. Like he stole like $3 from you, dude. And then the entire neighborhood rises up against this gang. But the gang is like, they look like complete clowns, dude. It's just like it's like back then.
They're like the Police Academy 2 gang, but serious.
It's like they have like a chain across their chest. And like, oh, look how badass this guy is. Like a t-shirt, like
Was it the one set in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and it's like
he went from New York to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it makes sense.
In that one that gets messed up? Or?
No, he
how does he fall in there?
He befriends
somebody who lives in the neighborhood, right?
Yeah, someone who, and he's
Marina Citrus is in it. Circus, who played Counselor Troy. Deanna Troy.
You're right.
On Search. Yeah, she's one of the characters.
Random.
Yeah.
Well, isn't
it was like her first
Jeff
movie.
Goldblum's in the first one.
Yeah,
right?
he's one of the attackers.
He's one of the thugs.
He's like, let the artist do his art.
Yeah. God, that's right.
Watch Death Wish, everybody.
Yeah, except the Bruce Willis one. Not really good.
I forgot they made that.
Yeah, Eli Roth.
They made Death Wish with
Bruce Willis and.
That's right. They
Vincent
did.
D'Onofrio.
I just remembered.
They missed the mark because he was killing the guys that
he was after.
Yeah.
And I was like, that doesn't make sense. He's not an expert at finding
Right.
So that's why I was like, it's better the original is done. Hey, scumbag. You make me want to poop.
Bronson.
Yeah.
Don't mind me.
Yeah.
I'm here to kill all the scum.
Oh my God, that's good. Charles Bronson, man, we miss him. He was so good in The Dirty Dozen too.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
God, that's another great movie.
Also, he's Magnificent Seven. He's one of.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Magnificent Seven. Yeah. And then so then South Park is coming out with it. Chad, you wanted to talk about the latest South Park.
Oh yeah,
and that's not an episode.
No,
they can't call them episodes right now because apparently they're specials because they're in some kind of legal.
Oh, with Paramount.
Yeah, Paramount and Comedy Central, so they can't call them episodes. They have to call them specials. But they're episodes basically. I guess. I guess
they've been releasing the specials like ever since the pandemic was going on. Like here's a pandemic special and things like that. And,
I remember that.
Yeah. Which is like the legal loophole they can use to go around.
Right.
And
because I guess like Paramount owns the episodes, but Comedy
Paramount
Central
produces the show,
right?
Yeah.
So it goes on Paramount Plus as,
Right.
as specials, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the episodes air on Comedy
Central, and
Yeah.
they own the
which is
episode
owned by
rights. Something?
Viacom?
It's very weird.
It's a complicated one, yeah,
Because you
yeah,
can
yeah.
watch. I think you can watch episodes of South Park on Max. Like,
Yeah,
That's right. You
so,
can.
which is weird. I don't understand everything.
Yeah.
I
completely.
don't know.
It's weird.
But yeah, the specials will be on Paramount though Plus, and this one it's called the Panderverse, and
Right.
I could just imagine that they're just going to be making fun of every company, every production company as well, just pandering to audiences like, oh no, we're gonna change it so you guys like it and make everything nice, but
Right.
like make it so perverted or more or just disturbing
Yeah,
in some
it's
way.
South Park, so you
Yeah,
know they're
That's
gonna.
what they're good at.
Well,
Yeah.
I can guarantee AI will be in it.
Oh, for
because they
sure.
always are trying to be topical. So.
I guarantee you it's going to be like the Tom Cruise Mission
Oh,
Impossible
my God,
AI.
that'd
And
be
that's
great.
it's going to be that.
Oh,
It's gonna be,
yes.
I guarantee you.
Oh my God, yes.
If there's AI in it, it's going to be. That's what it's going to be.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be this like.
Man. Just Cartman floating through.
Oh God!
trying to, no, I can't do it, but no, I'm excited. But speaking of Mission Impossible, they're pushing that back.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
next one for
Sucks.
Yeah.
until 2025.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2025. Yeah,
Which it's too bad because that last movie was so good, man.
Yeah.
I think it's like it's certainly one of the best of the
Of the
series.
year? Yeah.
I
Yeah, but it didn't do well in theaters.
no,
which is,
because
you know,
the timing. It was just bad timing.
yeah,
I think they should have waited after Barbie and
yeah, because
Oppenheimer.
it came out a week before those.
yeah,
something like that.
and
Yeah,
it just got railed.
Shouldn't-
And
Annihilated.
it got pushed out too because Oppenheimer took the IMAXs and
Right.
the big screen,
Mhm.
so it's like, yeah, you're not gonna get that. So hopefully they'll put it back in theater before the next one comes out, just to get people
Yeah.
excited again or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, that was just poor timing on their part. There,
Well, especially they set it up so this is part 1 and part 2.
yeah,
yeah.
So having that much time in between the two, I wonder if that's going to hurt the next one.
I'm wondering.
possibly because
but
people
you might be
yeah.
right with they re-release it.
Yeah,
You
that would be a smart move.
Yeah.
to make some money back that they didn't
Right.
get this
To be
the
like,
first
hey-
time around. Hey, we're gonna really or like do how Marvel does here, sit all day in the theater and watch all of our movies.
Right.
They'll do a double feature that you can
yeah.
do for both of them.
Because it was pretty long, right? The last
yeah,
one?
it wasn't
It was
too
like-
It
short.
was 2 hours.
I wanna say,
and
yeah.
25 minutes, something like that.
That sounds about right.
Something but you know what? The entire time I was loving.
No,
I was
I
entertained
enjoyed
the
it.
entire
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah. The
You know? that hallway fight, or not even hallway, alleyway fight.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Holy crap!
The and the train sequence was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
yeah, there was just so much in that, but like the fact that it ended, but it didn't really end. I was
Yeah.
like, I wanted that button. So
It's weird that they didn't have the closure that they
Yeah.
normally have.
Yeah,
So
and the opening scene too in the submarine.
oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Hopefully that changes and it comes a little sooner than that. But
Yeah.
I hope so. I hope
Yeah.
so.
They haven't even started filming it, right? I think it's because of the strikes that they're.
I
The
thought
strike
they-
affected it. I think. I think they'd already
no,
started
they
filming.
they like
Yeah.
after that
went
movie
right
came
into
out,
it?
they
They
went
went right into it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
because Tom, he's like, let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense because you don't have to have everybody leave, come back, pay for all this.
Actually,
so.
because I remember some of the interviews as when it came out. The director, I'm blanking on his name.
McGee or
Yeah,
no,
he was
McGee.
saying-
Sorry,
No,
What's his name?
McQuarrie.
Yeah,
McQuarrie, yeah.
McHugh, I think they call him.
Yeah. He said like he's most afraid of the stunt he does in this next movie. So I think
Really?
I don't think they did the stunt yet, but I think they started developing it so
Right.
they know
I
what's
think they always-
happening.
They film as much as they can, then they push this big stunt to the end of the film.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Just in case. Yeah, I don't know. He explodes.
Hey Tom, can we film like all the footage? Why? Just in case.
Just
I-
in case.
I would love to see Tom Cruise's version of Fire Marshal Bill from In Living Color. Just how you doing? And it's just the intensity that Tom Cruise puts into it just would be insane.
I trained in real fire. Like,
Yeah.
You didn't need to do that, Tom.
No, give me the fire suit and light me up.
I want to do it for the longest amount of time.
And then finally, just going back to the spooky season, I went to the Haunted Hayride in Griffith Park.
How was that?
It was really good. I go every year. It's put on by 13th Floor Entertainment, I believe, who also is doing the Shacktober down at the Queen Mary in Long Beach. I think the Queen Mary's still undergoing repairs, so they
I don't know. Open yet.
They're not open yet. They're not doing the mazes on the ship itself like the Dark Harbor event would do. But it was really good. They always add something to. There's the actual hayride where you get on like this. It's a trailer and that pulls you around with a tractor pulls you around in this trailer, and you go through all these like scary zones. And they had a lady who was. You're passing underneath, and then she kind of jumps off, and it's like one of those rounded. She's hanging from a harness. So she goes around in this harness.
She's like on silks or something like that?
No, it's built on these. It's a structure, but around it's like a ring, and she she moves like around there. Yeah, and it's like a track, but she's hanging from a harness, and like she had this like severed head that she would throw at you, and it would bounce back at her.
Well, that's cool.
So so it was pretty well done.
That's creative.
They always add something. The great thing about the Haunted Hayride was that I go to so many of these events, and you can almost always tell where the actors are going to come out of, or even when I don't see them coming, I'm not trying to brag, but I don't get scared. I'm just because I love it so much. So I'm just like I laugh most of the time. They'll come up like, oh, that was good. Like, well, man, that makeup looks great, or that was so good. Haunted Hayride got me. What? Out of all the mazes I've been through this year, Haunted Hayride got me. Yeah, I was because there's a maze called they have 3. Fairly large mazes. They used to have like 5 small ones, and now they kind of like compacted them into 3 major ones. And so they always add something to this mortuary maze that I'm talking about. So at first it was kind of like this little 5-minute maze where you kind of go through, and it's just like a little kind of haunted house looking thing. But now they've added a bunch of hallways and more rooms. So they have a new area of the maze where you go through, and it's this long hallway where lights are flickering off and on. So you can see part of the, see the end, and then you see the front and the middle. Cool. So it's just lights flickering. So I went through there with my girlfriend, and we went with her father who was visiting her, and we're they were behind me. So I turn around and I kind of look at them coming down the hallway. And the great thing about the hallway is that you can't look back, man. Exactly. You can't see you only see certain parts of the mazes at a certain time because the lights are flickering. Yeah. So I turn around, and they had this lady in makeup in this black dress run straight at you, and I was like, "Oh!" And I was not expecting that. They got me. She got me, and then I was like, immediately came out. I immediately started laughing, and I was like, "That was great. That was great." I was like praising her. I was like, "Thank you so much." Yeah. So yeah, it was fun. If you still have time, go check it out. It's a really great event.
Yeah, I think there's a few days left, right?
A few days left. I think they stop it. Don't quote me on this, but I think it's like the 1st or 2nd November is when they actually stop. So you still got some time.
Get out there.
It's a great event, good food, and it's just all around fun time. I have the Haunted Hayride shirt here.
Nice. That once every millennia, Stan gets scared.
Once every And then we did Grizzly Gardens in Valencia, which is How
was that?
It was fun. It was they set this up. I think the Grizzly Gardens been around for a while, but the proceeds or at least part of the proceeds are going to workers who have been actors who have been out of work because of the strike. So they're donating to I guess they have a fund set up specifically for that. So they're donating either all the proceeds or part of the proceeds to that, which is pretty cool. So that's why we wanted to go and support it. So again, I went with my girl up there, and she told me about it. It's right down the street from her house in Valencia. And the maze was really well done because apparently it's put on by industry professionals. So it was really well done. It was a long maze. It took about 15, 20 minutes to get through it, and every single room was something different. Like, it was all creepy, but they had a lot of cool animatronics coming up and down. There was this great, the theme of it is I guess, farm animals, specifically rabbits, have kind of risen up against humans and are doing testing on them and kind of skinning them. So we went to this room where it's like a meat processing plant. They have these 2 huge machines that are kind of going back and forth, cutting up, quote unquote, cutting up meat. Yeah. And they're skinning and cutting up humans. And it's like this crazy looking rabbit, standing, of course, an actor standing back there, kind of scaring you. And he had this.
It was Daniel Day-Lewis.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. And he has
all these A-list actors on strike. They're now doing
scary and it's Daniel Day-Lewis, so he's completely in character.
I've been training to be a rabbit for 13 months.
But the actor had like this handsaw, and he was like, oops. He was like, I'm swinging my arm to show. He was like swinging it up against the fence, and it was like shooting out sparks.
Oh wow!
It was really dope, man.
Nice.
Yeah, it was some kind of prop he was using, but it was really dope.
That sounds great.
Yeah, man. So it was a lot of fun. The maze was great. We really wanted. There was a family behind us that we actually wanted to be there was a family that we wanted to be in behind them because it was I think there was like maybe 4 or 5 adults, but it was a bunch of kids, and it looked like it was like some kind of cheer squad. They're young. They're probably like elementary school, but it looks because they kept doing cheers in line. But we wanted to be behind them because we knew they were going to flip out, and they were behind us the entire time, and that's all you would hear. Screaming at the top of their lungs, and we were just laughing the entire time. So we actually wanted to be behind them just to see their reactions. Right. And then at the end of the maze, you come out, and of course, a guy runs out with a chainsaw, and they just went like the kids and the adults they were scattered. Nice. It was great. I'm just sitting there laughing. So it was great. Yeah. So check out. I don't think it's still going on, but Haunted Hayride in Grizzly Gardens. If there's still some time for Halloween events.
Yeah.
Spooky
season.
Yeah. Oh no! I was just gonna say, since it's called Grizzly Gardens, I would have hoped one maze would have been like you're walking through, and then they just release a bear to chase you out of the maze.
It's the bear suit from Midsommar.
Or it's the bear from The Edge with Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, now we're talking.
And
no, Nick Cage's bear suit in The Wicker Man.
The Wicker Man. Yeah. No, it's Nick Cage in a bear suit chasing you.
And it's literally Nick Cage.
Like,
that sounds like something he'd do. So yeah, that's my my review of Haunted Hayride and Grizzly Gardens. Check them out.
Were you about to comment?
No.
Okay. All right. Was there anything else we were?
That's I've got on my list. Yeah.
Okay.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween. Don't trick or treat. I mean, no, do trick or treat, and then hopefully
they'll give you something good to eat.
Yes. I mean, like...
Smell my feet?
Yeah. And give your candy to your parents so they can inspect it for anything.
By the way, parents, no one gives a shit about your parents. No one's going to give them drugs. Calm the F down every year about this shit.
Those assholes that give out raisins and, like, toothbrushes, get the fuck out
Go
of here.
fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
King-size candy bars only.
There was a lady that... I remember this for when I was a kid. We were trick-or-treating, and she was handing out very, very nice thought, very nice sentiment of her. Thank you, lady. But it's just not working. She was handing out freshly baked cookies, and we're like, "What the fuck am I gonna do with this?" And I remember I was like, my hands are full.
I can't put it in the bag.
I've got the bag.
It's supposed
so I did put it in the bag. I was like, I'm gonna just put it in the bag, and then
crumbles.
Right. So I'll put it in the bag, and then try to take it back. And
I mean,
by the time it was just no, because I had a mask on.
Oh, okay.
I'm walking around. I'm too excited. Sure. We're literally running from house to house. This is we're like 12 years old. We're running from house to house.
Packaging matters.
Yeah, exactly. And so by the time I was like, I forgot about the cookie, of course, and I was dumping the candy out, and there's fucking crumbs everywhere, and I was like, what is this?
Right.
And I was like, oh, the stupid goddamn cookie, man. Lady, whoever you are that did that, thank you, but that was really stupid.
Yeah, we go trick or treating every year around my buddy's neighborhood in Sherman Oaks, and there's a lovely family there that was giving out. Like, obviously, they were just clearing out old toys of their kids.
No.
And so they were giving out candy, but they were also like a bucket of, like, just toys and shit. And they're like, you pick them out. And my kid went crazy. He was like, I want all of it. I'm like, no. You get, like, one thing. So you got, like a little ball or something like that.
Yeah.
But he loved it. It was great.
Wow. Were they legit toys? Or?
Yeah, they were. Like, it was, like, a lot of, like, stuffies and stuff like that. It was just, like, you can tell they were just doing, like, all right, we got to clear this shit out of here. And this is the best way to do it.
Have you done that stuff with your kid yet? With where they've got a blindfold on and they put their hand in, it's like, oh, it's worms. It's
it's eyeballs.
No, not yet.
Probably soon. No, he's loving he loves gross shit. Like he loves slime and like all that like tactile stuff. Like
he would have loved that head. Remember that from the '90s? That toy. It was like this. It was
be careful where that sentence is.
Oh, excuse me. Yes. No, it was that. It was
like the creepy crawlers kind of thing, and had like the gooey stuff.
It was like a
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and you could like push things through it, and it would like come out its ears and shit.
Oh yeah. I will.
We had some cool like weird stuff back in the day when we were kids.
But we loved it. Look, man, we turned out great.
Yeah.
Turned out great.
Exactly.
See, they wouldn't market that kind of toy anymore. It's pretty sad.
They would now, but it would have to do with poop. There's a lot of toys with poop.
Poop?
Oh man,
Really?
there's so much poop stuff
That's so
marketed to
weird.
kids, like squishy poops and slimy poops and poop toys and poop games. It's nuts. They're all about poop nowadays.
Huh.
Kids love poop.
That's true.
You heard it here, folks. I didn't know it was going to get silent all of a sudden.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's okay.
I mean, it's this whole like because
A monster face. The thing that head was
face.
called.
That
yeah.
was it.
It was like a head on this
God.
pedestal, and you could put stuff on it. That was
Yeah.
monster face. Yeah.
Is your kid playing with poop all the time? Well, here, you could get him fake poop, where he's not messing with his own excrements or his dog's excrements. He's just playing with fake poop.
Don't reach in your butt. Reach into this bag.
Pay $12.95. Plus, if you get it now, you'll get the diarrhea pack.
Oh.
You know.
Kids, ask your parents for permission.
Right.
Apologies, listeners who are not friends of the poop joke genre.
We're gonna do 20 minutes of poop jokes now.
We have.
That's how we end
each of
the
us
show.
have a 10-minute stand-up routine on poop. So
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Tune in next time to hear it.
Yeah. Thank you. That's it for us. Oh, sorry. No. You know what? We're this is already so fucking long. Happy Halloween, guys.
Happy Halloween,
Happy
everybody.
Halloween.
Be safe out
Be
there.
safe. Don't drink and drive.
And don't forget to rate and review and comment on
Yes.
our shit.
Yes.
More
And
poop.
More poop.
Yeah.
enter the nerdom.
Exit the butthole poop.
Oh man, I was gonna go the poop route, but I guess exit the brown nosing giraffe. I don't know. I can't. That's,
What the fuck?
it's first
You
thing.
call it the brown nosing giraffe?
Yeah, because I'm not getting into it.